All righty. There we go. Looks like we made it. I was one half breath away from throwing the computer across the room. Sorry about the green screen. Nothing is working. I can't believe the computer is working because it has not been working for hours. I'm not sure I'm in a good place to run a show, to be honest. I am not doing well today at all. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. It is great to see you. I am struggling with everything on this end. Nothing opens. My documents aren't opening. The program's not opening. Nothing is working. I am so sorry. I would have just had, oh, look, you can see the picture behind the screen that isn't showing. Amazing but true stories of insanity here. I've been working on, sorry, I know I went away for a second. Hold on. I've been working on this for so long and incredibly it's not working. I'm just going to leave it like that. You can see behind me there is a snowy scene. It's very pretty. It was all set for our Christmas episode and yeah, nothing printer, word documents, computer. I think it's new computer time. I thought I had fixed all of the problems with the computer and it's just not happening. Anyway, whew, good to see you. Welcome back. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I just hate struggles of this type. I'm so tired of struggles with the computer. I'm wondering if I'm in the wrong career because I just cannot handle struggles that have to do with the computer. And there's no one in this house who is equipped to help me do anything on the computer, which is a bit ironic. I'm going to leave it at that. Hey, how's it going? Happy Sunday night. It is great to see you. And I am so sorry it's been such a long time. It has been nightmare times here. All kinds of health problems, struggles. Jocelyn was in a wheelchair. She reactivated her hip problems. I'm having all kinds of health problems. I'm going for more testing tomorrow and an ultrasound tomorrow. And hopefully I'm not dying. We'll see how it goes. Maybe let's restart this episode, right? Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. It's great to see you. Happy Sunday night. It's been busy here. I'll leave it at that. It's been busy here. And it's been crazy and chaotic. It would be such a gift from the universe if, like, just the computer would work. If nothing else in the world is working, just the computer. Anyway, hey, happy to see you. Thanks for logging on. We do have a very full show for tonight. But I first want to say hello. I'm in a different place because I planned on having this winter wonderland behind me. And that's not happening. Otherwise, I would have been sitting upstairs in front of the actual Christmas tree with the beautiful Christmassy scene behind us. But instead, sorry about this. Um, I'm going to show you slides for most of the night anyway, so who cares, right? Ruth, it is great to see you. I was just putting your slides in. I think I got two or three at the end of the show. We were going full throttle today. From the time I woke up, I was out the door doing stuff. I was at church. I came right back. I picked up the family. We are not finished with our Christmas shopping. I think we are now. I was doing that. We got stuck in traffic. We stopped to get dinner because we were all about to drop dead. The waitress didn't serve us for like an hour and a half, and then I pushed the show back an hour. And then I was working on Teddy's book report with him in the car because we've been off school so much lately, and we have a snow forecast on Tuesday. So I'm thinking, oh my God, he better get his book report done today because he might not go to school on Tuesday, and that is the last day. So I was working on that verbally while I was driving home. And then I came home and I thought, okay, let's get the computer going, make sure everything's set. Not set at all. So it was like we slid backward like 5 years in terms of technology. No more green screen. And sorry about that, everybody. But it is nice to see you. Once I get some momentum going, it's going to be okay. You know these moments where everything is frustrating? I hope you don't. But I was, as a result, late getting back. And Ruth, I got yours in. Kirsten, if you're logged on, yours is the only one I did not get to. I was going to pull that off my phone. I wanted to show you an update on Kirsten's latest piece, but we will do that in a separate episode because I do have a lot of content and it is all good. So, Melanie, great to see you. Merry Christmas to you too. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, whatever you're celebrating and however you're celebrating. I am so happy that you're there. I'm so happy that we can get together during this time. I'm hoping that there are some more days coming up in the next week, right? As soon as we get past Christmas and there's that little bit of the fallow time when things quiet down a little bit and it goes in either direction, right? Between Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas and New Year, it's either you're either the kind of a person who, God forbid, this is me, gets very depressed and feels like life is meaningless and what am I doing and what have I been doing all this time and what am I doing now? Or you're the kind of a person, and I hope this is me this year, who says, look at this weird piece of time between holidays. It's a wrinkle in time. What is it? What can I do with this space? I'm going to read 100 books. I'm going to work on my hooking. I'm going to do some new designing. I know what the right one is, right? But you can't always control how you're feeling around the holidays, right? It is a time when people feel dynamically very different, and I hope that you are feeling all right and calm and caught up with all of your stuff. I hope it's all done and that you're ready to have some fun and relax. DMSP55. Have you all seen Deanna's delayed message in a post? Yes. Thank you so much for posting that. Thank you so much. That was an on the road panicked message. Yep, Eastern time. Thank you so much. Thank you for posting. I really thank you for posting. I was driving, so I was really struggling with, we're not going to make it in time. Okay, so some of you logged on earlier, and now, sorry about that. I posted the delay both in Facebook and on, I always post in YouTube as well. In case you follow on YouTube, you should get a ding, 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 and it's a post saying, oh my God, I'm so sorry I'm late. We got totally bogged down with being on the other side of Connecticut. All right, let's see. Let me catch up. I can't remember. Okay, great. Good morning, Gail. Great to see you in Australia. You are there. You are logged on in time, and you are just starting your day. You're one day ahead of us. I hope that you've got all your stuff together. Tomorrow, what is tomorrow here? It's Monday. And what day is Christmas? It's Thursday, right? Which means that Christmas Eve is Wednesday, which is also a very busy time, right? Got to have some stuff done by that time. Let's see. Haunts, happy holidays to you too. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Okay, good. We're all getting logged on. Sorry about that. Yep, I try to keep you posted, even when craziness was going on. I thought we weren't going to make it, but looks like we made it, right? Goretti, great to see you. Melissa, great to see you. Happy solstice to you too. Do you know that in Eastern Standard Time, this is the shortest day of the year? At about 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that was the solstice moment for the winter solstice. We were celebrating that this morning in church, recognizing that this is the shortest day of the year, right? This can be a hard time, right? The shortest day, the amount of sunlight. It is what it is. I can tell I'm freezing a little bit. Hopefully that stops. All I can say to that is happy winter solstice. And starting now, all of our days will get longer. And we will coast through the dark time. And we will start seeing a little bit more sunlight every day. Starting now. That's exciting, right? That's good news. Um, Tomorrow would be brighter. That's it. And let's see. Howdy from my hooking chair in New Jersey. Linda, great to see you. Yay, December's gallery night. Let's do it. That's yay. I agree with that sentiment. It's so great to be back with everyone. Catherine, you too in California. Great to see you. Anyone drinking eggnog? I've got Ferrera Port because I don't have nog on hand. I'm not drinking eggnog, but you gave me a great idea. I would love, that is not my diet right now, but I would love to have a little bit of eggnog, the good kind, not the kind that Teddy's got, but the good kind. That's a really good idea. Although port sounds amazing too. Here we go. Echoes. We've got echoes. All right, let me know what the quality's like. I'm still making my way down. Hello in Kansas, Sue's great to see you. Happy winter solstice. Everybody, happy winter solstice. We are on the upswing now. Sharon, great to see you in rainy Vancouver, trying to sneak out of a company Christmas party. Oh God, do I remember those days. What fun. Goretti, thank you. I will thank you, Ruth. It should all be fine. I hate these moments of medical suspense, right? And I hate how cagey the doctors have to be. I mean, they do have to be. Not telling you anything or not telling you what they're looking for, not telling you what they're worried about. All I can say is Jocelyn is fine. She got tested last week because of all of her pain again. And you saw, if you follow me just personally on Facebook, you saw she was in a wheelchair and she couldn't walk at all. She was having her hip problems again. There was a renaissance of hip problems after some stupidness at school with some stretch games, playing around like babies on the floor. and she reactivated something, but they tested her for the things they were worried about, which they didn't even say out loud to me, like muscular dystrophy, bone cancer, things like that. If I had known that's what they were testing her for, I would have lost my mind utterly. I just thought, what's going on? You know, she's sore. Is she faking it? Does she need physical therapy? I wasn't even thinking of those things. So she is good. Thank you. It's great to see everybody too. All right, I'm going to keep my eye on the quality. I can see I'm freezing a little bit. I'm right next to the box that does the internet, so I hope that we're okay. But I was struggling too with getting on. Thank you, everybody. Jessica, great to see you. Merry Christmas to you too and your whole family. You're sitting hooking and recovering from after two family get-togethers this weekend. Oh yeah, I mean, you know, it's great to see. It's always great to see everybody, right? It's so great, but it does take a lot out of you because um, are you all like, do you feel aware that when you interact with different people, whether it's like your friends or your work colleagues or your family, different members of your family, you act differently, right? Not to say that you're insincere or whatever, but we do all act differently. You change gears and you try to remember something to say to that person. Oh, how was that vacation? Or did you do that plan? Or how was the show? Or what you switch gears and you try to fall into line with something that would be a good two-way conversation with that person, and it's a lot of work. If it's a lot of people, it's a lot of work. And then you're talking to kids in one way, and then you're talking to adults in a different way, and you're talking to colleagues in a different way, and it's just a bit schizophrenic, and it takes a lot out of you, doesn't it? Oh man, we're there. That's the season that we are in right now. You have 4 days of rain coming, starting Tuesday in Southern California. It never rains in Southern. I always have to do that. I'm sorry. The song, right? Yeah, we had quite a bit of rain here too. I took Teddy, the whole family, to New York City for his birthday on Wednesday. We were naughty, had 2 trips, 2 weekends in a row, and we stayed for 2 nights. 3 was too much, apparently, according to Ted. But we had 2 beautiful days in New York City. It was so festive with the Christmas markets. It was so beautiful. I really felt it. There were a few moments that were just so beautiful, and one of them was just awful in Macy's. Um, it was really fun. We were doing the piano from Big, you know, and we didn't do the Go See Santa because you have to book that in advance, and I just can't commit to times and stuff. Nobody wants to do that anyway. But I was in the bathroom and I noticed that this other sort of young woman, she's probably in her 20s or 30s, was changing. And I thought, oh, I wonder what's going on here. And then when I was leaving, I couldn't really hear what she said because she said it so quietly, but she asked if I had any money. And my default when I'm outside on the street is I don't like to open my bag because it makes me nervous. But man, it just broke my heart. I did open my bag. And I never have that much cash, but I gave her everything I had because my heart just went out to her. She was just like a younger person. She seemed to really be struggling, and she was so embarrassed that I noticed that I didn't mean to notice. It was just she was fooling around with her pants and her underpants and stuff, and she was pulling at stuff, and I just looked over, and then she must have been super embarrassed, and she was so embarrassed that she didn't even say it in an audible voice, like it was so quiet. That I went, what? And then I went, oh my God, I bet she's asking for money. And I started to say like, oh, I don't carry cash. And then I thought, don't do that. It's Christmas. Don't do that. You have money and you are at Macy's buying a bunch of garbage for your kids and they already have enough of everything. We all have enough of everything. So yeah, it got me. It's getting me now, but it really got me. There's so much of that, you know, and this year is not an easy year for so many people. But in general, it was such a beautiful time. I missed seeing you all, but that was the reason we were away on another family thing. Julia, great to see you in New Jersey. Okay, good. Echoes are gone. We are good to go. Kanga, great to see you. Kanga, you finished your second piece this weekend. Can't wait for inspiration for your next attempt. Ooh, okay. Already miss not having something on my frame. Guess you are addicted. You are. It's so much fun having something. Now just wait until it might not happen, but wait until possibly you graduate to the 2 frame. I have one really small one, the 10-inch one, and then I have a bigger one, and then I have another one that's like a floor frame. And it's just like books on the bedside table. I have different projects on each one because I'm just not feeling it sometimes. With one of them, it's like I don't feel like outlining. One of them is like a lot of outlining. Another one is a lot of blue, just not feeling it, right? So it's also fun to just have several projects going because you can slide back into the one that really resonates with you in that moment, right? Ah, I know how you feel, and I hope you get some inspiration tonight. We have a lot of projects going on at Ribbon Candy Hooking too. Just because you haven't seen me doesn't mean I haven't been working. I've been working insanely, finishing up the rose stuff because there is a rose show that will happen at the Unitarian Society of Hartford for the months of January and February. I've got all of my rose rugs and a bunch of your rose rugs, a bunch of people sending rugs to me to display those full 2 months. I've said to people who are sending rugs, if you want to put it for sale, you are welcome to. Tell me how much. I'll put it on the tag. But I will be running live, at least one live show, if not two walkthroughs, when the display is up. And I will be doing an in-person talk. And I'll tell you when that happens in case you're local or you want to come. There are hardly any rug shows around. In fact, the last one in this area was the one I did now years ago with Pierre Sylvain, right, my buddy. And since then, there hasn't been an all rug show right around here, right? There was the one in like Darien near the New York border, but around Hartford, none. So if you're around here, let me know and I'll give you the details and I'll even meet you there and walk you through the rugs myself. That'd be super fun for me to meet people and walk through the rugs together. So that's coming up. Also, the 1776 book, the Spilling the Tea book, is coming up. If you're waiting for a pattern from me, I'm sorry for the delay. I will get it to you in time. There's not a hard deadline on this. I would just like to see it come out in the summer. If you want a project for the 1776 book, let me know. I have them ready. This is not a book necessarily about patriotism because we are quite divided right now, right? So I don't want to talk about that angle. I want to talk about us becoming a country 250 years ago and all of the people who were involved in all of the magic and the storytelling, right? Everything that went into that landmark, huge event. These little Minutemen beating the strongest army in the world, right? So if you're interested in participating in that project, let me know. Otherwise, be thinking about Magpie Times magazine, the spring issue, and the theme is tea parties / baby animals, all things spring, right? Flowers, gardens, all things spring. Do you have an article in you? You thinking about an article that you might want to write to put in there? Or do you have work for the gallery? Send it in. You can send it in to me now. I'll assimilate it. I'll forward it to Judy and she'll start formatting it. It'll be there. So lots of projects coming up. If you are looking for something specific, happy solstice, everybody. I love reading that. I love saying that. Susan, great to see you. Hello, hello. Oh, thank you. Yeah, what else is there but being sincere and being present with other people? There isn't anything else. You don't get to take anything with you, right? Just you. Richard said, no telling what that did for that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, she was surprised, she was surprised to be successful. And I kept looking for her as we walked around the store and tried to find the exit. I kept looking for her because I was thinking, man, what's she going to do and where's she going to go? I know that there's places, but she seemed to have a lot of pride. And that's something else, it's just so sad. Everybody has different struggles. All right, let's do it. There's so many things to say and there's so many things to catch up on. But for tonight, because I know we have a lot going on, let's do it. So let's see. Okay, let me see where we started here. I'm going to keep an eye on the thread. I'll keep an eye on the quality of the stream. And let's see. I'm so sad that the background isn't working. I had the most beautiful winter scene for you and it makes me angry, but okay. So we're going to start with my buddy Colleen Tiefenthal. Her brand is called, you know it, Beech Nut Studio. What a great brand she is. Be sure to check her out. She is on Etsy, Beech Nut Studio. Colleen says, this is a piece in progress, slow progress. I started it last year, then stopped when the holidays passed and life got too busy. I picked it up again this year and it won't be done by the 25th. So I will have to wait until Christmas in July at Searsport and I'll start working on it again. It might have, I might make it, to the hearth right in front of the fireplace, right? And I've been to Colleen's place. It's so beautiful. It might make it to the hearth for 2026. I bet it will. This is done in cut wool. It's cut number 4, number 6 cuts. This piece is one of her own pieces called Santa's on His Way. Again, patterned by Beech Nut Studio. What a beautiful piece this is. Oh my gosh. Does 1780 count? You have a weird idea. Absolutely. 1780, that is still the settlement colonial period. Yeah, I'd be very interested in that idea. Definitely let me know. Audible. Oh, good, good. You love it, Kanga, huh? Love the moon. So good. It is so action packed. Comments are great. Hey, Danny. So great. I love so many. We're only seeing part of it. Um, it's on her frame. You can see there are some reindeers going off the edge. I don't know how wide it is, but I'm guessing if she's thinking about it as a hearth piece, it's probably wider than it is tall, right? So it's probably quite wide. Don't you love? Oh, I love the way it's shaping up. I love the way the corner is cut out. We're going to see a rounded corner. I don't know if she's going to shape it into like a soft curve. I bet you she will. But don't you love that beautiful festive greenery around the edge? What a cool combination. Evening sky, big fat moon with some Van Gogh swirls in it. Look at the swirls at Santa's feet as he gets swept away by these racing reindeer. And then this beautiful, like all of this magical sort of imagery and storytelling. And then on the border, this sort of sophisticated, festive greenery wrapping around the border. So pretty, right? Such great contrast. And I love the colors that she's chosen, that really inky sky, that dark, dark, dark blue, traditional red, bright yellow. These are really great Colleen Beechnut colors, right? This is her palette for sure. And the way that she's done the shading, the outlining, this is so on point for her brand. It is so pretty. I love the comments I'm seeing too. Oh, okay, Ruth, let me know. I'd be really interested in evolving that. That sounds great. Um, Love it. I just love it. If Colleen, if you're watching, I'm not making fun of you because I can't tell you how many times I've done this. But do you see how it said 2024 and then she changed it to 2025? And at the end of the day, you know what? It's going to be 2026, but who cares? Is anyone really having a rug hooking emergency in their lives? Not really. I mean, come on, right? It gets done when it gets done, right? And it's going to be on time, and it's going to be whenever it's meant to be done is when she's going to pull that last loop. And it looks like it's going to be 2026, and that's a great year to finish this beautiful project, right? Is the beard done in yarn? You know what? Let me unclip here and let me see. Okay, it's either, I'm going to pull it bigger. It's either yarn or it's her small strips cut in half and maybe hooked doubled up. I think it is. So she's hooking with a 4 and a 5, which are like, small to medium. Well, that right heading toward that medium range, right? They're not thick strips, but if you were to cut, for example, a number 4 and a half, it'd be a damn thin little strip. In fact, I'm doing that right now on a project that I'm working on. The February project I'm working on. I didn't put that in the show tonight. Ran out of time, but it's going to be a February kit, first kit that I've done in years. It'll be a monthly kit going out. You can buy them individually, and it's called Farewell, Sir Spruce. And the main character, it's the series called Mousehole Farm, the months at Mousehole Farm. So it takes you right through the months and seasons and holidays. And I'm doing some outlining in the piece, right? I haven't gotten that far with my videos. I started showing it to you while I was in New York. And I'm using number 5s cut in half with my scissors to outline in that piece. And I'll tell you what, they're small. Look at Santa's reign right here. It's that kind of small, right? It's quite small when you cut a 5 and a half. If you cut a 4 and a half, even smaller. So great for outlining. And I think that might be, it's either that or she's using some shreddy sari ribbon or something. But it might be that it's hard to say. It does look a bit shreddy. It's hard to say. Really pretty effect though. I think the main thing with that beard is that it looks different than everything else. Like however she managed to do this, what really matters is that it does look different and it gives it that kind of coarse sort of roughness to it. And isn't that fun? And doesn't that help that feature, right? The beard stand out as opposed to the fur on the cap or on the cuffs or any of it, right? The beard really stands out. You noticed it right away. Super successful, beautiful piece, Colleen. It's just gorgeous. Jessica, oh my love, the amount of talent in tonight's show, right? The amount of talent in this group is just unreal. It's just unreal. And the more the more I look at it and the more I look at the different work that, I haven't been on our Facebook group a ton lately because of holiday stuff, family stuff, doctor's appointments. But the more I look at it, I just keep stopping short and going, breaking all the rules, right? Breaking all the rules. Um, there are so many people active in the group, you included, and I don't just mean Jessica. I mean all of the buddies on this thread right now, you included, are doing the most extraordinary work. And I think that the main things that get you to that place where you are ready to meet yourself where you are, right? So you're sitting there in your chair right now and you look around and you say to yourself, I might not have all of the materials I want. I might not have found the perfect shade of green. I might not have found my ideal hook, my love match hook, right? There might be some things that are missing, but I am going to meet myself here right now at the end of 2025, and I'm going to do my best work according to what I like and nothing else. I'm going to be confident about how I proceed, and it's going to be just the dang way that I like it. And I'm going to forget about rules, and I'm going to forget about, unless you like to work more technically, color wheels, contrast, work. My advice to you for 2026, work in the style that you love. Make sure every loop is fun. Make sure when you stand back that you say to yourself, that is what I meant to do. And don't second guess yourself unless you stand back and say, is that what I meant to do? And the answer is no. Then you start backpedaling and going, well, wait a minute. How, like, what do I need to look at? Where do I need to improve? What kind of shout? What are the words to shout out for help with this particular thing, right? Then you start that whole conversation in your head. But until you're there, just assume that conversation is not going to happen and just keep going with your amazing original work. It's amazing. Jessica, you have been working on projects for your 4 kids this Christmas, and you've been trying to get together um, a design for each of them and get them all finished, which is quite a feat. So you wrote yes, and Jessica, I think I have you in 2 or 3 different places in the thing show tonight. Sorry about that. Well, I was pulling things at different times and putting things into the show at different times. But you're going to see the 4 rugs that Jessica has done for her 4 children um, in this segment coming up right now. Jessica writes, yes. I was just getting pictures, talking about gallery night. I'll send you a picture. I finished a special rug for each of my children for Christmas, featuring them with a mythological creature. So this is the theme. What will the mythological creature be, right? And the kids get to choose. They are all my design except for Evie's, which was adapted from her dragon drawing. Not yet. I asked for the kids' input on colors, what creature they wanted, and showed them my drafts to get their input. We like the idea of showing the 4 elements, but this fits perfectly with 4 children, right? Fire, air, earth, and water. This is the first one. Jessica writes, my oldest, Jamie, chose a phoenix, a creature of fire, transformation, and rebirth. His choice was so perfect for him at this stage in his life as he turns 13. He is as tall as my 5'11" husband now, all long limbs and elbows when he cuddles in my lap. I prayed for him as I hooked and felt all the feelings. Grief, knowing some of his childhood loves will soon be burning away. He still reaches for my hand as we walk. Which of these precious moments will be the last? Oh God, Jessica, you can make me cry. Joy. Okay, wait a minute. Give me a sec. Joy, witnessing him stretch his wings in new ways, more brave and independent each day. Pride, seeing shadows of the leader and the good man he will become. I couldn't love this boy more. I couldn't be more proud of the young man he is becoming. Okay, now I'm crying. Jessica writes this. Well, now I am too, Jessica. Good thing Phoenix tears are magical, and they are magical. Okay, this is completely incredible, and they do grow up too fast. And I think those things, I keep myself awake at night thinking the exact same things, Jessica. I think everyone who's been a mom has had these thoughts, and it's so hard, so hard. So I appreciate and I can relate. And I really do agree with you that this is the perfect mythological creature for Jamie. This is so perfect. And there's Jamie at the bottom, right? All of the angles, and you just wrote this. This is just gorgeous writing. Um, all of the angles that this composition reflects, right? All of the storytelling that's going on, all of the embedded thoughts and fears and um, roads that your brain is going down as you watch him grow, as you watch him reach these sort of landmark numbers, age numbers, and think, how much longer for this and how much longer for that. And yeah, it's Phoenix from the ashes time, right? This is where they find their way and they become their own people. And you stand back and you hope that you've given them the tools that they need to be amazing human beings. And you wait and watch, I guess. And it's a hard passive occupation to be a mom who waits and watches, right? It's particularly when you've been used to being, all hands on deck for such a long time. This is such a beautiful piece. I do love I love the image. I love the energy. I love the fire. I love that the sky is blue behind. The colors are perfect. But I do love seeing that red, like the corally red, sort of bursting through the blue. So it's electric, this piece, so much energy. And there is something so sort of beautiful and a bit Steven Universe, if you get that reference. It's one of the kids' cartoons about the border being these like kind of broken shards of like this molten color glass almost, right? These sharp shards and they're falling sort of in and out of place. Makes such a beautiful border and it makes such a powerful contrast. I think outlining the phoenix with white rather than black makes a really big deal, right? It's a big shift. It's a big color shift. It stands out great against the background. I love that you made the bottom of Jamie's shoes white as well because it kind of unites all of that white outlining and makes them one unit. It's kind of a totem composition with stacked things, right? You get it stacks from Jamie right up into the sky. It's really extraordinary, and I'm sure that he is going to love this. Um, oh, Ruth, your youngest is 42. Oh yeah, I agree. The narrative is such an important part of it. Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? This is the first of four. Let's move on to the others. They are all extraordinary. So you have a taste for what you have to look forward to now, right? Let's move to the second one. This is Evie's. So Evie's dragon is flying. I hope you can see this okay. Maybe let me make it just a little bit bigger. I feel like that one is a little bit too small. Let me stretch. There we go. Hopefully that's good for you on your screen. Evie's dragon is flying through the night sky. Now remember Evie, this is Evie's drawing that Jessica embellished upon. She loves dragons and loves reading. Big Wings of Fire fan here too. All we talk about is Wings of Fire these days, which is great. We build Wings of Fire dragon models and paint them, and we are whenever she's got her phone, right? If you see her in photos on her phone, she's not playing a game. She's drawing Wings of Fire characters on apps on the phone, and they are extraordinary. They're extraordinary. So same thing in your house, Jessica. Wings of Fire forever, right? Um, and Evie Strong was better than any dragon I've ever seen. I hear that. She was so encouraged when you praised her artwork at the last gallery night. Oh, and since then she has drawn. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Even more beautiful and detailed dragons and given them as gifts to her. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Jessica. Thanks for letting me know. She is such a true artist. Like she has the heart of an artist and she is the sweetest person. She is going to get so far in her life with so much raw talent, such a great personality. Because you know what the hardest thing in the art world is, whether it's like, I mean, I was in the art world, the theater world, it's personalities, right? People are not always nice. That's the thing about the arts. You get such different people in the arts, and there are so many people who are not nice or who are so ego driven and self-motivated and self-centered and selfish. And rarely do you get people who are so kind, so giving, so sweet and nice. She's got everything, right? She's got everything and so much talent. Let me catch up here. It was such a joy. Oh, wait a minute. So blah, 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 hold on. Detail dragging. I'll include a picture of her latest creation. It's such a joy to share the love of art with her. As Shel Silverstein would say, she is a dreamer, a wisher, a prayer, a magic bean buyer. Oh, I love Shel Silverstein. Um, beautiful, beautiful piece. And we saw you working on this, and now it has really come together. And now I'm reminded from the Jamie's Phoenix as well that you did a few things to unify these compositions. The first thing was that theme wise, they are all mythological creatures. So that's a really good starting point. The second thing is way more practical and visual. It's the borders, right? The board. I'm assuming I haven't taken a good look at the next two, but the borders are going to look like this, and I think that's a great unifying motif. It makes them very, very strong as illustrations, and the scale is quite similar from one to the next, which is also super, super, super strong. You're doing outlining in this piece too. This is totally different, distinctive, and different from Jamie's Phoenix. um, an amazing series. I mean, this is just a completely phenomenal series. Such a lot of work, and it's so much to. And when I think it helps when you're working on a project for someone you love, like a child or someone, your friend or someone you love. It definitely helps. But I will say that I know from experience for myself that I can get burnt out fast when I'm working on a series. And Jessica, if that happens to you it does not show. Each one of your pieces is always super, super fresh, and it's like I've never seen anything like it before. That's a real talent, right? That's a real gift to be able to reset yourself, come up with the next in a series that is just as electric, just as original, just as unique, and leaves you saying, as I'm sure you're about to say, I think you did, Jessica, forget. I was hoping that you forgot to send it because I didn't have it in my list, and I was just panicking looking at my phone a little bit. But definitely send it, and we'll look at it in the next live show. We won't forget because I can bring all these pictures back too. How do you know when someone is not burnt out on a series? When you look at the next one of the series and you go, oh my God. And that's how you reacted to the ones you've seen so far. It's the gift that keeps on giving. They're just so amazing. This one is for your son. Gideon meditates alongside ent, ent, or tree troll. Okay, I don't know that word. That's ent. When he was a toddler, he first met a tree troll on a mountain, a giant sculpture. These things are all over the place lately, right? I know there's a couple of them in Rhode Island right now. I really want to drive and see some of these. I wonder if any of you have seen any of these trolls. Very big deal right now. So Gideon saw one on a mountain, a giant sculpture surrounded by trees with a kindly face. He was entranced. We stood there for many long minutes. He shyly touched its hand and left a leaf as a tribute. How beautiful is that? It was a magical moment he has never forgotten. He was 3 then. He's now 8. Gideon has the most active imagination of anyone I've ever met, and sometimes he calms himself by mindfully sitting and breathing and being. Sloths join him, his favorite animal, so alike in their peaceful, gentle souls. Gideon has named this tree troll Tree Ent Leafbeard. Tree Ent Leafbeard. I did my best to show in his eyes and facial expression that this is a kindly, gentle, lively creature, just like our Gideon. Oh God, these are so great. Ents are the best. Gosh, you know the word ents. I need to learn more. I've got to Google ents later. I think Merry Christmas, deep breath. Oh, thank you so much, Patricia. First time in 55 years not having Christmas at your house, Patricia. You feel so relaxed. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. The more I think about it and the more I interact with people, because I'm at church like I'm there all the time for something or other. It's always positive. People saying things like that, like, this is the first time in years, or this is like the first year, like one of my kids isn't able to make it back, or we're not all together. When I hear these things, it's like punch, it's like punch in my heart. But it's funny. It's just I'm learning that, like, I need to, I guess, just become more at peace with life changing and not controlling stuff so much. Because for me, when something is different from year to year, I flip out. Like I flip my flipper. I'm crazy. And I think I think I'm bringing that horrible gift to my children. Proof is like just going to New York City, and Teddy with his autism is a little bit different, but it's like it's got to be the same hotel. The room has to be facing the same direction, and we have to do the same things in the same order when we go there. That's partly autism, but I have to admit, if I'm being honest, it's partly me too, because it's like, well, we did this last year and we did this the year before. We got to do it this way this year, and I have got to stop being like that. There's a lot of people around me who are great examples of like things can be different, and it doesn't mean that they're bad or worse or that anything is wrong. That this is like such a revelation for someone like me who has been such a control freak for my whole life, and not on purpose, just it's just the way it is, just very type A. So I love to hear things like that, Patricia. Like something has changed, and you're happy, you're relieved, you're like, sounds good to me. I like that, and I think about those things when I write my diary at night, because I think I need that in my life too. You remember the Ents from Lord of the Rings? I probably do. I mean, I've seen Lord of the Rings so many times and read it. You would think it would be like right there. Think Treebeard. Okay. So the Ent is let me look back at the slide. The Ent is the Treebeard thing. That is okay. Okay. I got there in the end because the little guy is the sloth. Okay. I got there in the end. Yes. I just didn't. I guess I at one point knew, but I forgot that the word Ent. But I recognized the creature for sure. Ent is a mythological creature most famously known from J.A.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings series, where they are. Oh, wait a minute. Let me scroll down. Where they are. Oh no, it's not going any further. I bet there's more message coming. Where they are. Is it going to be definitely? Oh, Ryan, good to see you. Welcome, Lord of the Rings. You all are so good. You are so good. Gideon hasn't seen Lord of the Rings yet. Oh my God, Jessica, he is going to love it. But he will love it when he does. He does ask me, did the Ent really beat Saruman, the most powerful wizard? He does, doesn't he? Sorry, spoiler alert. Tree-like beings. Oh, I do love that. Now, so Tolkien created these Ents. I'm just thinking, I wonder if I'm thinking about the timeline, because there are the like the living trees also in The Wizard of Oz by Frank Baum, but that was years before, right? That was years before. Well, that was at least 20 years before, if not more. Interesting. These tree creatures, right? But specifically, the Ents are a Tolkienian um, um, construction, creation, right? Interesting. Maybe it's time to listen to Lord of the Rings again. I'm listening to the greatest book right now. I don't know how it's going to end, but it's a biography called The Santa Claus Man. It's it's about this guy who was basically a con man in New York City at the beginning of the 20th century, like the very beginning, and he kept coming up. He was a dreamer. He kept coming up with these great ideas for ways to make money and just make magic. Like he was a magic. He had it in him to make magic. And his first, I won't do a spoiler alert, but his first idea was terrible, and it was a complete flop, and landed him in jail. But it didn't stop him from having these really grand ideas. And at one point, this part is true. At one point, at the beginning of the 20th century, the U.S. Postal Service did not allow letters. They received letters from Santa Claus because there's no not for Santa Claus. There's no not receiving them, but they didn't do anything with them, and they would not allow anybody to deliver them. It became like a legal thing, and they could not give someone the responsibility of delivering them because, right, this is kind of like a Miracle on 34th Street problem, if you see what I mean. I don't know if there's kids listening, but at a certain point, the U.S. Postal Service did allow mail to be delivered to Santa Claus, and when that happened, they were willing to hire like an organization, like a charity organization, to be the middleman who sorts it, fulfills gift requests, even goes out to check, for kids in certain parts of town to see if they really do need a free gift kind of thing. It is the most incredible so far. I'm only like two-thirds of the way through. It is such a heartwarming story about people coming together. Um, within this organization and doing these amazing um, sort of charitable things in right around the time of the First World War. I mean, it's a beautiful story so far. Something awful could happen, but I hope not. I'm really enjoying it right now. Oz, thank you, Ryan. 1900 to 1920, and Tolkien's more like 30s, 40s, right? Am I off there? I'm not the fantasy fan that I once was, I have to admit. Goretti, love these different rugs. Me too. Let's get back to them. He created a whole mythology around, oh, interesting, around the Entwives. Entwives. So Ent and Entwife. Is Entwife it's going to sound sexist, the female of the Ent? The Entwives who have withdrawn from Middle Earth. I've always wanted to know that story. This is fascinating. I'm going to have to check this out too. All right. I know I loved it when I was into it years ago. Howdy and Merry Christmas, Rita. Great to see you. Howdy and Merry Christmas to you too. So, Jessica, I mean, sorry for the departure. It was a bit of a Tolkien inspired cul-de-sac I went down right there. But oh my God. I mean, what can I say? Oh my God. Did you all notice the sloth up in the little gray sloth up in the tree? No, wait a minute. So the tree, the tree is the Ent, and and then there's the um, Jessica, the little gnome figure, and then another sloth on the ground. I just want to use the right terms for my mythology because you all are better at this than me. I'm going to stretch this a little too before we move on to the next slide because I'm looking at some materials down. Oh God, I love the border too. And again, same border. Jessica, are you whipping or crocheting around the very edge? I'm just wondering. Okay, you see all the shreddiness happening in there, the mossiness. Isn't that lush and damp and magical? Oh boy. That is so, that's just grand. It's so much fun to find materials like that thready green stuff because even if you sit on it for a while, sooner or later you're going to use it and it's going to give an effect like this and you're going to say, oh, Spaghetti-O, I am so glad that I have that green stuff because who knew I would need moss, right? So beautiful, Jessica. This is so beautiful. Um, Let me just move it down one more time. And I just got a little bit of an education too. I do love the eyes, and I'm going to say, from my point of view, you said that you hoped that the eyes looked kind, like that it was a kind, soft face. Absolutely is. I mean, this is a guy like the BFG, the big friendly giant, that I would walk right up to no matter how many skyscrapers tall he was. Ruth is asking, how big are these? Um, yeah, Jessica, I'll let you answer that because it's not on the paperwork. Um, I'm guessing they're not huge. Let's look at the last one. So this one is for Caleb, your youngest, who loves dinosaurs. Not mythological, of course, but still magical and in his imagination. Absolutely, right? Definitely fits. I'm not sure if he's riding or wrangling the Elasmosaurus, which is a plesiosaur from the Cretaceous period. But he sure is having fun doing it. Oh, he is. I'm not quite finished yet. I'm planning to add French knot bubbles. Ooh, French knot bubbles showing movement and some more white to emphasize the water line. I see what you mean. Um, Jessica says, right, the tree troll is in the middle, the same border as the other rugs I made into two trees framing the middle. These are about 20 by 26. That is bigger than I thought, I've got to say. That's a great size. You got these done fast, but you have been working on them for a while, of course. And I'm sure you've been working on them on the sneak, which makes it difficult, right? If you don't want people to see you. So you're going to emphasize the waterline in white. I see what you mean. I don't see it as a problem, but I see what you mean. And you made coral with fun fur and specialty yarns, a last minute addition when I got sick of hooking blue. You know, I'm so glad that you said that. That's so smart because, yes, like there's a lot of blue in this piece. The sky, the water, the border, the blue really does work, but I see what you mean. And I think it adds so much that you added all this like underwater vegetation in with all of these crazy fibers again, right? Like really, really, really well done. I love the expression on the dinosaur. I love the fancy fiber contrast. Just it makes it so colorful, and also Caleb's shirt, right, is pulling into the color palette. It's so perfect. Your shading on the dinosaur. Um, I have to say, and I'm sure I'm wrong about this, but I was uh, last week after church, I was talking to a little boy who always seeks me out, and we have these long conversations. I'm telling you, this child is like such an old soul. He is obsessive about dinosaurs. It's something like I can't, like I can't. I try, but I can't. And nothing I say is right because he knows more than me. So he said something like, he's not a jerk, right? He's a super sweetheart. But I try to engage and say something intelligent so that he's like stimulated, and then he can tell me something. And we get in these really long conversations, and I kind of work myself into corners. So I said something about I think I said plesiosaur, and I'm sure that that's not exactly the right word. And he said, "What?" And I said, "Oh, like the Loch Ness monster, right? If there is whatever a Loch Ness monster." He's like, "Oh," and he corrected my pronunciation, and he said, "That's not a dinosaur." And I forget what he said it was, but he said it's not classified as a dinosaur anymore now that they know more about this animal. So it might be more mythic than you think. He said, no, and I said, but wait a minute, the Loch Ness monster is a dinosaur. And he said, no, it's absolutely not. And it was like, so I had to pull out of the conversation because I had nothing intelligent to say. But I thought, it's funny. It's just like, which is it, Pluto? That's not a planet anymore. Is that the one? I mean, it's like these things that you grew up being told, and now they're not true anymore. I mean, I guess that's life in general, right? You might as well get used to the rug being pulled out. But I thought it was funny, and I thought, when I have more time, I need to sit and have this conversation with this boy because I mean, I talk to him every week, and we usually get to dinosaurs sooner rather than later. Um, but he's just a little scrap of a thing, and he's so, boy, him and Caleb would really, they're probably about the same age, would really have, no, Caleb's a little bit younger, right? How old is Caleb? So funny. Gideon's actually has the double crochet edge. You crochet the edges and you use lots of velvet and cut up clothes. Love that you do that. Uh, Jessica, these are just amazing. I mean, I think we were all like gobsmacked, completely amazing. What a series. What gifts. I mean, the way that you document your family life is like nobody else. There have been rug hookers through the ages, right, that have done a lot of stuff with family. Jessica, not like you. You are like, yeah, you are in a league of your own. A rose is a rose by any other name. Oh, give me some Shakespeare tonight. I'll take it. Oh well, I just can't picture this kid. Caleb is 5. I'm gonna have to I'll take a video. I'll take a video with him. I'll have him record a little video for Caleb, and I'll send it on my phone to you. This kid is just. I always struggle with his name too. It's like um, Ib 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 uh, maybe Ebson, not Epson. It's something. It's like a biblical name, but it has a twist on it, and I always think I have it, and then I don't, and I don't want to let him know that I keep forgetting it because it's so difficult. Um, yeah, I'll take a video. This is a unicorn, right? This boy is like a little unicorn who's out there running around. He's really something. He's really something special. Oh, Jessica, so well done. So, all right, let's keep going. And I have the project that you are currently working on a little bit later in the show. Oh, showing all 4 of them together. What a set. Holy macarolis. And they go so beautifully together as a set as well. What an amazing success. Super congratulations on this. This is really like triumphant work that you're doing here. Completely amazing. And I love seeing the colors as a set as well. Um, Tad Richards sent a piece for gallery night. Do you remember I went to New York with Naomi. It was hot out, so it must have been at the end of the summer, and we went to visit Tad and his lovely wife in his workshop, and I did a couple of videos. Ted is a puncher, and he is an artist, and he is a musician, and he has had and is still having the most amazing creative life of anyone I can name, just so varied. And at the moment, in the last couple of years, he has been really in love with Punch Needle and has been doing um, extraordinary original designs that are really like some kind of magical fusion between, I would say, expressionism and still life. Unexpected pocket of in terms of a genre, it's like impossible, but yet he's in there doing work that always looks different, but bears the same sort of energy, and is very shape driven with shapes that I associate with 1960s, 1970s pop graphic art, right? Like these swirly sort of ornament shapes, these fiery flame leaves. These are shapes that he always goes to. He creates pieces with people, but also abstract compositions like this that hint at still life, right? But it is right on the cusp of several different genres. It's not a straight up still life by any means. It's work that is super. And he posts a lot in our Facebook group, and our Facebook group is called Rug Hooking and Punch Needle Club. Tad T-A-D Richards, right? He's been, as I said, a musician, a writer, a poet, a painter, a photographer. I mean, he has been everything, and one of those many things is a punch needle artist. So this is the piece that he is working on or finishing right now. He didn't send what the title of the piece is, but I'm just loving it. I guess his pieces take they take me to like a sort of Aladdin's cave genie place with the shapes of the vessels. There's often vessels, and they remind me of either like the opening to like Aladdin's cave, or opening of like lamplit, like the saying that that Leonard Cohenism, when the bell is cracked, that's how the light gets in. You know that saying or that phrase or the song. It's called Anthem. Um, that's what some of his pieces remind me of, because he often has this cracked shape that looks like light. Um, I just love it. It's so interpretive to me. It's so lyrical. I love modern art, and I do see organic forms like leaves, like possibly fire. I also see this. I see this extraordinary structure, which is the vessel, with this either light or leaf coming off of it, with this beautiful petal thing that looks like fire on the top. But then I see the blue behind it, right? And it's like degrees of, right? Degrees of separation, degrees of blue, how many shades of gray, right? I dream of Jeannie. That's another good association, right? Popped into your head. It's just modern art is, and I've said this a million times, modern art is how it makes you feel. There's nothing else, right? You can dissect it same as more traditional art, more figurative art, but at the end of the day, the only thing that matters about any art is how it makes you feel. And if you look at something and it reminds you of something, or if it makes you feel an emotion, you go, this piece makes me feel both excited, like the electric red, fiery, but also very dreamy. It reminds me of waking up in the middle of the night and having these big, great ideas, right? But it being dark, and it being night, and it being the wrong time for it. It's going to remind you of something different. It's just fun. It glows. It does. Um, oh, thank you, Kanga. Contour fill. It's hard to, yeah, contour fill, hard to get around it showing. Absolutely. It is showing light, right? It's such an interesting piece. Was it him that did the Adam and Eve, or someone else? It was him. It was him that did the Adam and Eve. Good one. Yeah, that was one of his figural pieces. He's done a lot of nudes, and they're all beautiful. He does a lot. He's an artist who sketches on his phone, right? Just like my daughter does. Both of my kids do art programs on their phones, either a tablet or phone. He's able to use those programs where he sketches on the phone. I'm not. I can do it on my tablet. Can't do it with my finger on my phone, but so many people can. And if you're able to, like, he's able to put, I don't want to say filters, that's the wrong word because I'm not literate with these kinds of programs, but he's able to do stuff with color change, outlining. He's able to modify his own sketches because he's very adept at using these programs. And it gets him very, very far because it shows him exactly what he means to do. And with compositions like Adam and Eve that have people in them, all of the sketches he does while he's in waiting rooms or at bus stops, or he does sketches. If you follow him or you look at the Facebook page and you search for him, you'll see anywhere he goes, he's looking at his phone and he's doing a sketch at the same time. And he's able to capture people in a true artist in postures, poses, and attitudes that are not every day. You know, when someone says, well, you see a camera and you go, but if you don't know that the camera's there or if someone's looking, maybe it's more like, you know, and like that's life, isn't it? Like you're usually like, but you think that you're like, but, you know, and he's able to capture people in all these different postures and um, attitudes, right? I think more like their energy, and it's so cool. It's so cool. It's so interesting to think about working in that style if you like technology, and it's so interesting to look at his work because his work doesn't look like anybody else's. I would say the closest person to him is Alice Butler. If you remember the series that we did on Alice Butler, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, Vic Butler, her son, right, who did the designing and she did the hooking. If you haven't watched those, catch up on those. Those are oldies, but such goodies. There's some twists and turns during that story, remember? His work, Vic's work that Alice, his mom, hooked, also had, I mean, he was living in the mid-century from the 1950s to the early 80s. They worked together. And his work had similar shapes, right, because it's that modern period that gives us these very sharp shapes. Um, I would say that's the closest person I can think of to Tad. But he is out. He's another unicorn. He's out there on his own doing something really different. Ruth says, I use Procreate, but not on my phone. I've heard that too, that Procreate is a really good one to use. Um, one of these days, I'm going to try to get that. And Jessica says, I love the video you did with Tad. It was so inspiring to see his studio and his amazing work. It was super inspiring. And I loved being there. I want to go visit him again, and we'll do that probably right after Christmas. Yep. I did that too. I don't, there must be someone called Tad Williams who's famous, right? Because I did that too. I did that several times, actually. That's really strange. So beautiful, beautiful piece. I was so happy to get this. Julia sent us this piece from New Jersey. She says, Hi, Deanna. I hope you're feeling better. I am feeling better. I just want to say it wasn't that I was sick. It was that I've been getting a lot of testing done, a lot of stuff with blood and testing. So it was more that. And then dealing with Jocelyn being immobile and trying to figure out what was wrong with her. So I haven't been sick like flu sick. I've just been sick. Hopefully I'm not sick, but I've just been going to a lot of appointments, and hopefully we get more information tomorrow, you know. This is a small piece inspired by the Pacific Northwest where my son and family live. I call it Tree Love. It's my own design, mainly punched and some hooked. It is 9 by 10 inches. I went a little wild using several types of wool strips and wool and cotton yarn. Warm wishes to everyone for the holidays and the new year. From Julia. Oh, Julia, warm wishes to you too. You know, this is an exciting piece, and this is, oh, thank you so much. I need that water. Can you bring me some Kleenex too? Um, this is an exciting piece because not only is it a beautiful graphic design and an original design at that, and not only is it meant to and does reflect the feel of the Pacific Northwest, right? You're seeing trees on the side and water in the distance. Thank you so much. Besides all of those things, it also functions as a fabulous sampler. The way that it is hooked and punched, right? You see some hooking, you see some punching, you see that some of it was done right side up, working side up, right? You see in the center of the heart between the trees, there is a beautiful, what looks like the Malabrigio yarn. You see all of the different kinds of stitches, right? And it feels like a sampler. It's got symmetry going for it. It's got sunlight. It's a very strong graphic piece. The colors are really exciting because you've got a pink heart, and it's a big piece of real estate in the middle of the piece. but it's got so many colors within it, it remains exciting. You've got the trees. That's another big motif, right? The tree split in half, and together it would make one full tree. You've got lots of colors of green going on in that tree, and you've got lots of colors of blue happening below. So for all of the colors that we're seeing, there's lots of sort of split or splinter colors happening where there's green, oh, but there's another green, and there's another green. That keeps it lively and exciting, doesn't it? Seeing the different, as Kanga says, the mix of fibers, the mix of stitches, the mix of scale, right? And we know from looking at this piece, the mix of techniques too. So much going on in this, Julia. It's a beautiful piece. Um, I love seeing the work of artists who work in the Pacific. Is it Southwest, Northwest, um, Southwest? That doesn't even make sense, does it? Um, because there is a different color palette, and I know this from looking at different artists who love to use sort of the environment as one of the main inspirations. Um, it is a different color palette. It's different colors than we have in New England. I'll say that. And I love looking at them. It's just, it's always, I don't want to say always the same colors like it's boring, but the artists that I know who are in the Pacific Northwest, they do go to these colors too. And I'm thinking, you must see those colors in everyday life because I don't see these colors in my life. I definitely don't. And it's a different place. It's a faraway place. It's like a magical Tolkien kind of a place, the Pacific Northwest. Um, Absolutely beautiful piece, and I love to see original work as well. Sky color, Susan says, are great choices. They are great choices. Just catching up with the thread. Oh, right, right. Jessica, you mean for this piece? Oh, I get it. At first I saw a heart on a vase. I see what you mean. I saw that verse too. At first I saw a heart on like a bird bath shaped thing. And I thought, oh, and then I got it once I saw, I think I got it. But then again, this could be like a 1960s style optical illusion, right? Pop art optical illusion where it's like, what do you see? And much rather do that here looking at hooked pieces rather than on Facebook when people are like, what do you see, right? You know, that's always going to be a wind up and a waste of time. You've visited out there a bunch of times. So I have to ask a dumb question for someone who is a tour guide for like so much of my life. What what states are considered? Is it like a set group of states that are considered Pacific Northwest? Because I'm wondering if I've been to any of them. Hold on, I'm going to blow my nose while you're looking at this, and I'm going to mute at the same time. Sorry about that. Um, Hopefully I was muted. This piece has tremendous sense of depth as well. Gazing through the trees across the water. That's a great point. That's a great point. Because, you know, there is something about that jagged opening between the trees that could be uncomfortable, right? Just in terms of shapes, right? Because we're human people. And when we think about shape, we just automatically think about things in relation to how we move, like how would we fit through this space carefully, ly, but you know, while it has this difficult, right, shape, this very jagged shape in the center, it's really softened by this heart, right? As soon as you see a heart, you go, ah, right? And it becomes like manageable. It becomes more of a view than a passage, right? Because when your eye looks at something that has an opening, you tend to want to go through it, right? It's just human nature. And then it's like, oh, excuse me, sharp bristles, sharp bristles. But with this piece, you're kind of stopped by the heart and the view. So this piece has got real magic to it. It's a fairly simple composition, but Julia has worked so much into it, color wise and in terms of variety. Washington, Oregon, Idaho. You know, I've been to Idaho, but I have not been to Washington or Oregon. Shame on me. See, I got to get out there, and I want to see the colors and feel the feels and all of that good stuff that you all have going on out there in the Pacific Northwest. This is a close up of the heart section, so you're able to see some of the stitching, the punching, the hooking, and some of the materials that Julie has used here. It is fun to use multiple techniques on the same piece, isn't it? It really is. Whether you're doing a true sampler or a piece like Julia's, where look at that very fine blue around the edges too. Um, Whatever style you're working in, it is fun to do something that's mixed techniques. It's easier on your hands. It creates a lot of variety, height differences, right? keeps your eye busy. It gives you where's Waldo, right? Oh, Diane, great to see you. Happy holidays to you too. Oh, happy holidays. What a beautiful piece. Now let's see. Our next piece, June West. What a beautiful piece this is. So June didn't say anything about this piece, except that I'm guessing it's a piano stool, right? And what a perfect piano stool. Otherwise, maybe she just perched it there, but it certainly looks like it fits, doesn't it? I'm not sure if this is an original design, but what a beauty it is. If you know, give me a shout out and let me know. I love this piece because it can be a primitives piece. I'm not going to say it is a primitives piece because I don't know the cut, but it could be a primitives piece. I love that it's a multiples piece. Everything in every pattern done in multiples is a strong pattern. You get 3 chances, right, to look at this and say, "Ooh, I like a tree with like polka dotty balls in it. Oh, I like a tree with like this scrolling garland. I like a tree with all of these small little buttons added, right? Oh, that's okay, June. You can tell about it here if you want. I like the variety when your eye can travel and say, "Ooh, I like that. Oh, I like that too." And for people, and I have a feeling we are a lot of these people, for people who are collectors, we like stuff like this because you don't just get one, you get 3 in this piece, and your eye gobbles it up and looks and says, "Oh, oh, oh, yeah. Oh, good idea. I like the idea. I see all the little sewn pieces, like the little buttons. And I love that. I love that." I also love the tree in the middle, and I love the different shapes of the tree I'm seeing. But that tree in the middle is a classic mid century modern tree. Just the way it flares out in a triangle shape is so sort of hip looking, isn't it? So appealing. I love the giant stars on them as well. June says it was a challenge. Oh, I bet it was a challenge because it looks like there's lots of different techniques here too. And you know what else, June? It looks like you did a really gorgeous job in the background. There's a lot going on with the trees. You've got all kinds of bling happening. I will say it doesn't look chaotic. It doesn't look busy. They really, each tree really holds its own, right? Each one is a standalone. Any one of these 3 trees could be its own piece. But seeing them together is really pretty. I mean, come on, at Christmas, more is better, right? Come on. You want to see a few. You want to see um, lots, few, all, some, multiple. And this is a great way of doing that. And to just being able to fool around with the different shapes, different colors, and how you want to dress each tree must have been a huge amount of fun. June says it's for the piano bench. I wanted to cover up a little butt print for my son sitting on it with a wet bathing suit. He's 30 now. A little wet butt print. Oh, this is perfect. This is a perfect way of doing that. And it so fits like the piano too for some reason, right? Like the keys just standing there at attention and the trees standing there at attention. It just feels like it goes together. Oh no, June, never be nervous to send stuff. We all want to see it. It's an amazing piece. June, did you design this piece? It is awesome. I mean, anyone looking at this would say, this is awesome. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I want to look at the background a little bit. Backgrounds, this is a lot of background, and it can be hard to stick with the background. Remember what Jessica said about the blue? I feel this way often when I'm working on stuff. If I'm working on one color for a long time, that's when my brain tends to go to bad places and I check out or I grab for something else that's on a different frame. But it really takes some perseverance to stick with a big background. This is a big background. It's a lot of white, but you know what? It has to be there. It's the perfect background for these 3 trees. 3 different shaped trees that are decorated differently with different colors. You need a good solid grounding for the background, and keeping it white I think is just perfect, particularly next to the piano, right? White with the white keys. So pretty. This piece is so inspiring. I have a bare piano bench in need of something special. Well, inspiration, right? I just love. I guess you would flip it around the other way when you're sitting so you weren't sitting right on the stars. Um, it is so beautiful. Beth Gibbs designed it for our group. Oh, how fun. So, June, Beth Gibbs designed it. Is this one of the guilds, June? She designed it for your challenge for the year. Oh, how fun is that? So June, did everybody get the same pattern with the 3 trees? Oh, I'm so curious about this now. I'm so curious because I would love to know, like, I would just love to see all the trees together next to each other, you know? Maybe next Christmas that could be something that gets photographed, or there's maybe a show in a library or at a guild or at a historical society. I bet a lot of people would love to see the way that these three trees were decorated. How did you do? Jessica asks, how did you do the three-dimensional elements? Mm. I'm going to stretch it open a little bit more too. I want to check this out too. Really is a, no pun intended, a grand piece. See what I did there? Oh yeah. I mean, look at the little ornaments on the tree on the left. That is such fun. I just love finding little bits. Oh, oh, wait a minute. The middle tree, are those quillies? Oh, I didn't get that those were quillies. Those are quillies, aren't they? Oh, June, those are really pretty. Yes, it is. And they did. Okay, how exciting. Ryan, uh-oh, you're the wrong person to say big backgrounds to, right? Because Ryan does pieces that are like 12, 15 feet, not inches. And yes, when you have a big background on your hand, it is really a big background. And you are, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. And June says, yeah, it was fun seeing how everyone did theirs. Are the stars felted? They look like they're felted, don't they? So there's quillies in the middle. Those are cute little quillies too. And then over here, did you do some couching there where you lay the material down and then you either hook over it or stitch over it back and forth to tack it into place? It looks like there is something like the red material, right? The shiny one is being held down with the green, right? Love the quillies too. June says, the first tree has buttons on it, the middle has quillies, and the third has beads. Beads! The third has beads. Really? I must be seeing it weird because I feel like I'm seeing the green stitching between the beads. I found the felted stars on Etsy. Good one. You know, you do find stuff like this, don't you? I like that. I like that because I mean they're perfect, right? They're perfect the way they are. They have the kind of round shape to them. They really add a lot because this piece is a lot about embellishing and about fun and dressing, right? Just like you would dress your own tree. Like we decorated our tree so late yesterday. And just thinking about what you're going to put on it is so much of the fun. If you give yourself a project like this and then you have three more trees to decorate, little ones, right? Little hooked ones. That is a lot of fun. I guess this is the reason that people love to decorate ugly sweaters and things like that. Because the idea, particularly at Christmas when there are no rules about taste, it is fun to just decorate wildly, isn't it? June says, I used beading thread and couched it with a wild green yarn. I see. Oh, that is so cool. I love the shapes on that too. Very, very fun. Yep. Very, very fun. June, thank you for sending that. Please keep sending stuff. We want to see it. We definitely want to see it. It was so beautiful and so super festive. I love that pattern. All right, let's keep going. I'm not making good progress tonight, but I love everything so much. It's hard to stop running my mouth. You know me. Oh, Melissa. Oh, beauty. So this is the free pattern I put out a couple of weeks ago. You know, for it was National Rug Hooking Day, and I had a meeting later in the day, and I was logging on in the morning, and I stayed on for maybe, I don't know, an hour or something like that. And I wanted to be on for a couple of hours. I was actually so sick that day that I wasn't able to. And I was feeling sick the day before and anticipating that I was going to have a problem. So I put up a free pattern, and it's called the Oscar Wilde Penguin. And that is because this is a quote from Oscar Wilde. I think of all of his great witticisms and knockdown sort of insults, this is my favorite. Wisdom comes with winters, right? It's just so beautiful. It's such a peaceful way of saying wisdom comes with age, right? And also just the idea that winters are hard. Winters are harder than the rest of the year. And during winter, you have to be a little bit smarter, right? You can't make foolish decisions. I keep saying to my kids, stop leaving the house with a t-shirt on and no jacket in the car, because if the car broke down, God forbid, right? Hello. So yeah, wisdom does come with winters in more ways than one. So this is a free pattern that is up at Raymond Candy Hooking. If you're in our Facebook group and you missed it, it's also in the Facebook group. You could just Google in the search bar Oscar Wilde and it will take you to this piece. Um, Melissa is hooking this piece and she said, "Hello and Merry Christmas." I think you just finished with this. Deanna and friends, I am sending along my completed Oscar Wilde hooking project. I've incorporated some embroidery into the piece as well. Oscar Wilde is one of my faves. I decided to replace the droopy trees, and there were droopy trees with like a cap of snow on them, of the original pattern with some snow-laden sunflowers. Wild symbolic boutonniere. Isn't his boutonniere a green carnation, or am I confusing him with someone else? Maybe it is the sunflower. I thought it was a green carnation for some reason. Beautiful. I love the sunflower, and I love it's a little bit snowy on the sunflower as well. Really pretty. With anybody's patterns, you have to make it yours, right? You have to do whatever feels right to make it perfect for what you mean to do. I love the sunflowers and I love the applique patch in the middle. This is, I'm guessing, a smaller piece. Melissa works like Jessica so fast. This is Melissa Gauthier in Canada. She works so fast and she usually works small. She displays her pieces, she teaches. So I'm guessing this is a smaller piece. And man, it would be hard to hook the text small. So this is a great way of keeping the quote, right? Sticking with the sentiment, wisdom comes with winters. Even being able to put Oscar Wilde as a signature on it is a big deal. And how perfect using a sister craft, a companion craft, needlepoint, right? Beautiful piece of wool, just banged on there, sewn right on there. Looks like it might have a little bit of stuffing under it, right? Give him some good sort of puffin-esque padding, right? It's a penguin in this case. But yeah, and you know what? You could write anything on that stomach. If you have a quote that you like more, or a family name, or a saying, or a song, or something that's special for your family, then that would be a good thing to put into the center. But I did love drawing this little Oscar Wilde penguin. I just loved his shape and how sort of dumpy he was. And I loved the fact that his chest could be kind of open like this and become a vehicle for text, whether it's my text or your text, right? For whatever text you see as being the right words for this piece, Melissa. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much for hooking it. It's the first time I've seen this one hooked. I love it. I do see that there is different colors of white in the background, and I love that. I love that. I love it when we see color substitutions and you see down at the bottom left, there's a little bit of white with tan. Makes it look so primitive and antique, doesn't it, when you see these? And by the way, you notice that the sunflowers are proddy, right? Straight proddy like strips, right? Not shaped like petals, but straight strips prodded through. Or they were hooked. Maybe she didn't prod them. You know what? She probably hooked them and just cut them super long to make them look like proddy. Would work just the same, wouldn't it? Um, oh, June, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Absolutely beautiful work. You don't have anything left to learn. It's just a question of choosing your favorite projects and doing them, right? Doing things that you love. Catherine says, looks good on the trees and sunflowers and roofs. Love it. I just love it. I love seeing substitutions like this too. I really do. This is a close-up of the little tummy. Really love it. Such fun. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Um, okay, wait a minute. Okay, this piece. So this came from Facebook. The handle is Jumpin' Jehoshaphat, and this piece stopped me in my tracks. I had to put it in here, and I had to send a message saying, "Oh my God, what have you got going on over there? This is bonkers." I've noticed that this artist in our Facebook group is always doing very original work with a super mid-century twist, right? And I do notice this very shape-driven. You could see any of these shapes being signed for a drive-in movie or an old-time diner, right? One of those skate-in diners or something like this. Absolutely bonkers. How great this is looking. Still in progress. I'm going to stretch it for you in a second. But the text says, hoping to have this one done before 2026, started in mid-October. This is 70 by 23 and a half. Did you get that? 70 by 23 and a half. Ryan, right? Nobody is challenging you. You have the ultimate title for largest rugs in the history of humanity. I think yours are larger than like loomed tapestries. Um, but this is a big rug at 70 by 23 and a half. Um, in parentheses, but they always get bigger once I take them off the frame. The subject is logic gates. Interesting, right? This has a technology flavor. Logic gates, hand cut wool, and light strips on burlap. I'm going to stretch this open for you because if you haven't seen this piece, okay, you just got it nail on the head. Wonder Piece collection. I like the linen peeking out of the background. Yes, um, that's the bonkers thing, isn't it? Let me stretch this here. So it looks like it's done on a burlap feed sack, and you can peek through and see it. And when I sent a message saying it is remarkable, when I sent a message saying, "Whoa, this." I mean, this is just like boyoyoing. You know, and we never talk about pieces like being good, better, best, right? This is completely different. This is a different artist, Jumpin' Jehoshaphat, a different artist, different vision, different style, very cohesive style also from one piece to the next. Very distinctive abstract work with a theme behind it, right? Logic gates. So when I said, I'm so intrigued by being able to see the feed sack in the background, the artist wrote back and said, yeah, a lot of people have said that, and now they have to kind of rethink. And do I want it? Do I not want it? Because that is not part of the design. But I wanted to put this forward to you because I saw this and I thought, this is something to think about because a lot of people crap on burlap. There's nothing wrong with burlap, particularly if you're not putting it on the floor and getting it wet. Burlap can do a lot of things for you. One of those things is just give you an inexpensive backing fabric to hook into. Bingo, right? Great. That in itself is enough. Another thing that burlap can give you is a printed background. You see this a lot. When I was doing antiquing and stuff this season, I saw a lot of like burlap tree skirts that had like Santa, elves, trees, farm scenes. And I thought, man, you would printed, already printed. If, a hooker would want to put that on a frame and just fill it in, right? I mean, there's a lot of things about burlap that are interesting, particularly its heritage, right? It's a huge part of textile history. Um, and getting this kind of text and the stamping is very unique from one sack, product, company, country, all of it is different. And yeah, it's for me, I would have a hard time. I might close some of the windows that don't have text, um, but the ones that do, personally, I would have a hard time closing them because it becomes a collage, doesn't it? When you see this kind of texture and the information on the sack that is peeking through. Ryan says, Logic Gates. I knew it looks like something. Okay, Ryan. Is Logic Gates, I have to ask, an expression? Is that a known expression? Let me Google Logic Gates. I thought it was like something abstract and poetic, but it might be a thing. Logic Gates. Is this something to do with like the internet? Logic Gates. Logic gates are fundamental electronic building blocks in digital circuits. I'm already gone. I'm already out. Like computers and phones. Okay. Um, the that perform Boolean functions on binary input. I'm out. Sorry, I'm out. But I will show you shapes like this. Logic gates symbols. Interesting. God, is that ever interesting? Honest to God. You know what I love about this besides everything is just the idea that one person could look at the symbols for logic gates and go, there's a rug. Where I'm Googling the word Boolean. How different we all are, right? Isn't that the beauty of life? But man, what a piece. Honestly, what a piece. It's so striking. And I love its crossover with our contemporary life, right? With our world now. The contrast, Kenga says, the contrast between the contemporary and the primitive. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. Is so striking, right? It brings us to both places. It does the hat tip for us as rug hookers. It's a tip to our heritage, right? This printed burlap sack in the background. but yet the subject is like state of the art, right? Like, yeah, I mean, bonkers. Such a cool piece, and it's such a cool subject, and it just serves as a great reminder that anything that you can think of, anything you're interested in, right? It's a subject for rug hooking, right? I mean, it's true. Our buddy Colleen in Canada was working on some ornaments. Now, a lot of us are working on ornaments right now. Does it have to be painful? No, it doesn't have to be painful. Look, she's just got a scrap of linen out. She's just tracing onto it. Is she worried about 4-inch borders? Nope. She's popping them into her little wooden hoop. She's hooking them. She's probably sewing the back on. I didn't see there's no back picture here. But boom, done. Little string, like little heavyweight string or whatever for the ornament hanger, you're done. When I saw this piece, I thought, this is so beautiful. This is rug hooking in a nutshell. Again, this is old school rug hooking in a nutshell. Colleen wrote, with the cold weather today, I'm working on some little ornaments to add to gift tags on presents. Perfect. On to mittens next. Stay warm, everyone. So socks and mittens. You know, sometimes I think we just agonize too much about our supplies. We fuss. And sometimes I think fussing is just a way to stall, isn't it? For me, it is. When I'm fussing with my materials or I don't have the right color of peach, fussing around with this or that, I'm just stalling. There's something else wrong, you know. Um, it's good to be reminded, you know what, just knock it off. Just get a piece of material out. Start working on a little project. You'll be amazed at how much you get done. You'll be so pleased with yourself. And yeah, and you'll just have demonstrated the absolute fact that this old time craft that we do can be done quickly without the bells and whistles, right? Just do it. Catherine says of the burlap sack, I got burlap coffee bags at a coffee house in Savannah, Georgia. That's the way to do it, right? Getting all your cool, I see sacks all over the place. Coffee shops, like antique centers, things like that. It's the ones sometimes at an antique center have holes and stuff. You have to be careful because they're a bit more vulnerable, definitely more brittle. But when you find new sacks, that's really cool too, right? I mean, you can hook right into that, and some of them are quite beautiful. Now, Lorna, if you're watching, I got your email at the end of the day, but I had already bookmarked your piece when I was in New York and I was looking at Facebook as something that I wanted to show. So this is disjointed from the other two, and I have the other two in a little bit later. We are definitely going to run over today. Um, but this piece is called, this is Lorna Vogel, and I love the name Vogel because in Dutch that means bird. The size of this rug is 30 by 24, and the title is, you ready for something beautiful? The title is Bring on Spring. It is hooked with 100% yarn that I have thrifted. It is my own design. I can't wait to hang it on my seasonal wall once spring comes. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas to you, too. I just think this piece is so beautiful. It really, it spoke to me like a poem would speak to me. Just looking at this floral scene that is done in hints of color, but mostly grays, grounds us perfectly in the season that we are in now, which is winter, right? But such a romantic little blush of color in the flowers, in the grass, in the sky. Just a little hint, a little nuance, a little kiss of color that reminds us that everything will be back, full blast, Technicolor. And and the fact that this subject that is done in grays, right? It's not meant to be wildly colorful and knock you off your chair. It's meant to be quiet like this season. And it's making the statement spring will be back, right? It will come. But it's not yet, right? And there's something so peaceful about this composition, despite the fact that there's a lot of energy in it. Those blades of grass, oh my God. I love the way that those are done, right? I love the potted vessel. I love the leaves coming out. The flower pot itself has a Tiffany feel to me, and so does the background, just a little bit, right? There's a lot of movement, a lot of action. It's like all of these things are going on. It is mostly gray, but incredibly, as life is, all of these things are still going on, right? The blades of grass, the flowers wanting to come up. It reminds me of a song I'm singing on the 28th in church. The theme is, and I was working on this with the minister. I said, what about doing the theme of the fallow time, right? This time in between. And I said, because for me, it's usually the time that I just break stuff on purpose and I'm in a really crazy and bad mood. And he said, well, for him, it's more of a time when he's like, yes, I get to read like books all week and no one's going to bug me, right? I'm just reading my books. And I thought how different it could be for different people, right? This unaccounted for time between Christmas and New Year. So the whole service is based around the Judy Collins song, not a very well-known song that's called The Fallow Way. Look it up if you can after the show. It's such a beautiful song. But she talks in it about how underneath the frozen snow, the black earth dreams of violets. And you just picture in the song, the flowers like, trapped under there for the moment, but wanting to come up out of the snow and make this beautiful burst of color. And this piece really reminded me of, working on this upcoming service, but also just the image. Lorna, I don't even know. I don't even have words for this. It's so beautiful. And when you will see them shortly, but when you see Lorna's other pieces, Lorna, I hope you're thinking about a book or something soon because you're doing some extraordinary work. The 3 pieces I saw just this week from you, and I know you didn't do them all like this week, but are so outstanding, right? I want us all to be thinking about either submitting to Magpie so your work gets out there, or Rug Hooking Magazine, or whatever you like. But just know, if you want your stuff in print, send it to Rug Hooking Magazine or Atha or whatever works. Send it to Magpie too, right? We will always print your stuff because Judy and I, it's just Judy and I, we love work of all different levels of practice and learning and styles and taste. We love everything, right? And it will be printed. And it is great and validating to see your work in print. So I want all of us to be thinking about Magpie, right? We need to get going on some of the issues for 2026, but also book projects, because this year I will have the Rose book out, I will have the Spilling the Tea book out, and I will have the Haunted Rug, the Mystic Carpet out. So there will be 3 books with just 3 of my books with Rug Hooking Magazine this year. With Rug Hooking Magazine, oh my God. I have worked with Rug Hooking Magazine, but these are with Ribbon Candy Bookshelf. So this is now my own press. I've control over all my own stuff now, and that's a big deal to me. So yeah, I'm hoping that people who are doing really original work are thinking about putting stuff together in articles or putting stuff together for book projects, because we are not seeing enough rug hooking books out right now, and I really would like to change that. We want to see more from everybody. Lorna, this is completely compelling and beautiful and poetic, and I can't think of an image that speaks to this day, right? This season, this moment, in my mind, better than this image. Just the idea of everything being so cold and frozen and snowy outside, but we are standing on the precipice, and we know that spring is coming. It's such a gorgeous statement. I love it. I'm going to hold on some of my pieces that I have in here. They're not pieces, they're photographs of things that I found while I was traveling, because I can show them to you another time. I'm going to jump to Susan's piece. And Susan, you're killing me with this piece here. I love your drawings. Your drawings are so, you know how I always say simple is hard? Simple is so hard. Not for Susan. Susan is so good at primitives. There's many of you are so good at primitives. You just draw it and do it, and it comes out great. I agonize with primitives to make this looks like you just sketched it and it was great. I have such a hard time doing that. I overdo everything. Susan says, drew up a rooster to give Wide Cut a try. Sat in on a Zoom with Kirsten, right? She's there on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Kirsten Gay. And someone mentioned doing a small sample of something you're working on or you're working out. Genius. So I drew up just the head of the rooster on a scrap of linen. Okay, let's see. Did you get further than that? I think you got further than that. Okay, no, you did a close-up of the head just to test it out. So you drew this up from this. So number 1, got to say I love look of the rooster, right? I love like it looks like he's running his mouth or his beak. I love his little combs, right? It's a brilliant drawing. It is brilliant. And you draw out the little head because you're going to do kind of a sample thing of it, and boom, working out the colors. It is a good thing to do if you have the time to do it. It is a good thing to do, and you're doing this in certainly a wide cut. I'm wondering. I know you were on earlier. I wonder if this is ripped or cut. Looks more cut to me because I don't see any kind of fraying. I still see his little mouth running. What a cutie patootie. Love the colors. Susan is very, very good at this too. Color substitutions. Color shift in a way that looks historic. A lot of fun to do. You can see behind the rooster, you see the patches of blue that are like blue and white check. Really cool. That's another really good way to do color shift. Use something that's printed with something that's not printed. That's a similar color and tonal value, and you will get these pops of color that do really make it look like a nice antique piece. And I think it's not only a great piece. I mean, I just love it, just the way it is. How fun would this be in a frame, like in the kitchen, right? I mean, so perfect. I do want to remind you all, coming up to days off and stuff, screen makes me crazy. It was so, can you see the glimpse over here of the beautiful, like white trees? And I want to remind you that Kirsten does do her Tuesday thing. I think it starts at 11. She always posts in the Facebook group what the password is to go in, or the link or whatever. She's there on Tuesdays and she's on Thursdays, and she always has a great plan for Zoom with like a conversation that she'd like to have, or a theme. It's not like people just sit there in awkwardness, wondering who's going to think of the next thing to say. She really is very, very, she's a super conversationalist, but she's very, very smart. She's one of my closest friends, as you know, and she keeps the conversation going, and she always kinds of has stuff to think about and talk about to keep things lively, to keep things going, and to keep things moving. She's really masterful at holding these Zooms. So be thinking about that. If you have some days off and you are at a loose end on a Tuesday or Thursday, be looking for that in the Facebook group. She's always posting the links to that. And if you can't find them, you can send her an email, or you can send me an email at ribboncandyhooking@gmail.com, and I'll grab a hold of her and send her to you for an answer. So adorable. So many things to do, right? To look forward to. Sharon Penny. Oh, Sharon, you sent some beautiful things. These are, look at these images, not just the finished products, but I'm looking at this as a vignette, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so cozy and beautiful. These hooked mittens, right? So we've seen Colleen was working on hooked mittens that were gift tags. These are like hooked mittens that are ornaments against all the wood pile, like so charming and wintry, so super pretty. Sharon, I'm just loving these. I'm so wishing I was a little bit less busy this winter with everything. I'm feeling this, like just the idea of doing shapes for mittens or stockings or whatever, and ah, so cool. So, Leah, you said Newfoundland is what's triggering that? Is it? Oh, is that the gray one? Is the shape of Newfoundland? Oh, see, I see the puffin and I see the moose, but I would not have gotten that as a person who's not from Newfoundland. That is very good information. Really cool. She sent some other. I think she sent some. Oh, another. Okay, thank you. Awesome. Also, this piece Sharon sent, another gorgeous piece that is in one of those shadow box frames. You see what I mean? That has like either, I did a video on this a while back. Either you buy a frame like this that has depth, it's a little bit recessed, and then you can just drop your piece behind it. And then you could secure it either with glue or with carefully placed very fine nails, depending on how thick the piece is. Or you can just get a flat piece of wood or board, right, and attach your piece to it however you're comfortable doing it. Sometimes, if it's flexible, just sewing. And then in the video I did years ago, I used like a yardstick, and I like cut it to size, and I nailed the yardstick around like a log cabin. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like two sides are one length and the other two sides are a shorter length, but it was like they were all the same length. Very fun to be able to build your own shadow boxes, and super, super, super easy. Really sets off a beautiful piece like this, a nice wreath picture, right? I mean, it's just June. This reminds me a little bit of your trees because Sharon's also got the white background and a little bit of embellishment, like so cheerful, so festive. God, I think one of the things that got me into arts and crafts in my life was living abroad and not having a lot of crafts to work on because they just didn't exist. But, well, the things that I wanted to do. But like looking at magazines like Country Living and all those craft magazines in the 1980s, even the 1970s, looking at those craft magazines and all those great ideas, you know what I'm talking about, from the 70s and into the 80s, like all of these charming projects that you saw, also quilt magazines. When I see Christmas stuff like the wreath and the trees, it reminds me of some of those patterns and how excited I would get when I would see them and how excited I'd get for the holiday, even if it wasn't even coming up. I would still, the festive things, holiday things for me, um, they resonate more than any other, Halloween, Christmas stuff, but holidays for me, I just feel so, I always feel like I want to make special things each year for each special day. And that's such big motivation for me as a hooker. We all have different motivation, but for me, it's holidays. So I love seeing stuff like this. Just so, Sharon, so pretty. And the way that you took photos with your background, too, so beautiful. Beautiful. Now, Kathleen sent this one, Kathleen Glynn. I got this one right before the show started too. So I think I managed to get everything in. And if I missed getting something in of yours, it's because of me, because I was racing around. Everything. This was a stressful everything. It's been a stressful block of time. If I didn't put something in this show, and the show is not over yet. We've got like maybe 4 or 5 more. If I did not put yours in the show, it is not because I didn't love it or want it. It's because I lost track of it, or I put a star on the email and then I screwed it up and didn't go back, or I ran out of time. If I missed something of yours, please send it again, right? I always put the pieces I get into the show. And if I didn't, it wasn't intentional. It's never intentional. But Kathleen, I was so happy to pick this piece up because it's such an exceptional piece. Hoping they filled the bird feeder based on the artwork of Alida Akers. This is 24 by 24 a square, and this pattern is sold by Cushing. So this is Cushing, W. Cushing Company. Now, Alida Akers, as you know, I'm sure, because we talk about her often, she is the artist behind the series that Cushing sells that are like the 1920s cottages, right? When you think about old Hollywood cottages with the storybook cottages, right? That's what Alida Akers is known for as an artist. She does these they look vintage, but they're not vintage, right? She's like a living artist. These vintage sort of depictions of rural life, very sort of British feeling in one way, but most of these storybook cottages actually are in California, believe it or not. That's where they come from. But really beautiful, idyllic, kind of thatched looking houses. And in this case, this one is a fairly unusual Alida Akers design because the main character is not a cottage. There is a cottage, but the main character is this beautiful chubby bird. And such a sweetheart sitting a lot of sort of this is a close-up, right? So this is a perspective game in this piece. She's got the bird sitting very close up to us, so it's rather funny because this tiny bird, and he's a chubby little tiny bird, looks what is this like a junco or something like this? He looks very big, and he's not big. He's an itty bitty, and he's sitting on a tree branch. And one of the other great Alida Akers tricks is one that I think she's taken from William Morris or any of the Art Deco artists. It is a sort of knot of intertwined trees, right? That is a trick, and that is a trick that William Morris did a lot. A lot of the Art Deco artists, including Alphonse Mucha, lots of Deco artists and Art Nouveau artists did the trick with the trees. It's a good trick because what you get to do is a landscape, and I'm just dissecting it in terms of composition because it's a brilliant composition, is a landscape that that gives you the vehicle for a snowy hill, or in another season a grassy hill, maybe a flower covered hill, and you need more stuff in it. But what do you put in it without making it really, really busy? You know what the answer is? Multiples of something, right? And in it, multiples of flowers, multiples of stems, multiples of leaves, multiples of birds flying in the sky, multiples of clouds in the sky, but in this case, multiples of trees. And it's a great problem solver. It gives you the opportunity to kind of interlace and intertwine these trees, and they look beautiful, overlapping each other, some of them looking shadowy on the snow. Really beautiful piece. And the bird is hooked. Kathy, he's so pretty in the little cottage in the distance. What a lovely, soft, and gentle winter scene, right? It's a very quiet scene. Maybe Junko. Yeah, he looks like one of those little smudgies. Kega says, I love this. The feathers or the tree shadow. Can't choose. There are a lot of tricks going on here, and they are all smart. They are all smart tricks. It's a beautiful pattern. All of Alita's patterns are beautiful patterns and very well done from Cushing. It is beautiful. Once you commit to a bird feeder, you must remain reliable. Absolutely. We have committed to 3. We have one on, they appeared this week. We have one on our front window of our big 1960 window, right in the living room, big open expanse. Let me see if I can show you the picture. It's so funny. And then the kids each wanted one on their windows, which I think is a good thing because birds come to the window and wake them up. Otherwise, it would be like sleeping the sleep of the dead, right? They are like the ultimate sleepers. So I like having the birds come and go because they make noise in the feeders, and it's hard to sleep through. Let me see. Oh, I would love to show you. Let me see if I have a quick one. I don't want to be a pest because it's not like that interesting, but it was to me. I when we got them up, Buttons was going out of his mind, as you can imagine, and then he kind of got used to the idea that they were in their thing on the window, but they weren't coming into the living room, to kill us, and he didn't have to defend us. But Pitter Pat the cat, different. She was. Oh wait a minute, no, that was yesterday. Ah, shoot, I guess I can't find them. I'll find it for you another time. She was sitting there with her um, tail like switching like this, like just at the feeder. And every time a bird came to the feeder, she lunged against the window. But birds can't be bothered. They're going to stay there and eat the food, which makes her crazy. So it's like such a great thing because it's keeping the dog busy, watching them. He's just running from room to room when he hears a bird at the feeder, and it's keeping the cat busy. I mean, the cat is awake. I mean, she's normally asleep all the time. She's been awake like nonstop. I'm cold here. I got my blanket going. She's been awake nonstop just looking at these feeders, and I think this has got to be a great thing. Buttons did go crazy yesterday. He was barking and barking. I was working on putting some slides together for this, and he was barking, and he was making me nuts. And I thought, what does he see? Because it's always something stupid. It's like a squirrel, and he's losing his mind. And it was a fox. It was a fox that, because we're like on the side of the mountain, and then there's a drop after our yard, right? Like that's why our driveway is so steep. There's a drop, and there's a fence right at the top of the yard. And the fox was sleeping right against the fence in this incredible sunspot and curled up in that beautiful healthy fox. When I see foxes, they always look like, ugh. But this was like, I mean, beautiful, brushy, full. He's come through our yard. I think I've told you several times. But he was sleeping right on the edge, and I think he liked it because he was in the sun, and he also had a really good view of like things below him, and was in a good position where things couldn't really sneak up on him. So he was so happy to be there. And that was why the dog barked his whatever's off for like half an hour. I just was too lazy to stand up. And yeah, it was just all curled up. So beautiful, so nice. My dog is outside defending the house now. They need a purpose. They need a purpose in their lives. And Buttons drives me crazy when he barks, but I think this is what he does. This is his job. He needs this. He needs to just sit in windows and bark incessant. He's not even a barker of a dog, but now that we live here on the mountain, there's a lot of animals outside, and it's more than it used to be. It's not just when the postman comes. It's like whenever an animal comes through. But yes, on the bird feeders, I'm so happy that we have them out there. We're going to be so careful to maintain them because I know that those little sweethearts are now counting on us for their snackies, and we are not going to let them down. So beautiful. Leah, speaking of so beautiful, you wrote, behold, first of all, behold, you wrote, I am not quite finished, but I'm so close. I'm going to fix up the grass. I'm not happy with the greens. Okay, I'm going to come to that in a minute. Thinking of making it a uniform color. Maybe a blend of greens that are very close in color. Wait a minute, aren't they a blend of greens that are very close in color? I'm not happy with thinking of making it a uniform color. Okay, let's talk about that at the end. Okay. I mean, I'm loving it, but let's talk about that at the end. Very close in color. This rug is hooked using burlap, on burlap using t-shirts, cut into strips using scissors. Hooray for that. I've been doing tons of that lately myself. I'm no longer measuring my strips. I'm kind of winging it. Good for you. That's the way to do it. We'll see if I like this method, but so far I like the lack of structure. Me too. That's exactly what I love about sitting with a pair of long, sharp scissors, is I just keep cutting. If they're really long and sharp, be careful. Number one, don't cut the upholstery, right? Number two, don't cut a hole through your backing fabric. I'm not going to say that I've done any or all of these things, but they're all possible. Let's put it that way. But it is fun just sitting with scissors. It's like somehow very therapeutic. I think I like it the same way I like washing dishes in the sink, as opposed to going into the yawning dark hole that is the washing machine, like for the dishes. I prefer to just do them when they're there and looking out the window while I'm doing it. For me, cutting things with scissors is more immediate in the same way. It's not for everybody, but it is super relaxing. Leah says, yeah, there's something about it. It's like on to the next thing. It's mechanical, it's simple, it's mindless, it's like snip, done. And yeah, it moves you along, and it's such a natural way for me. I prefer the chronology of cutting and then hooking and then cutting and then hooking more than I enjoy sitting with a bag of pre-cut strips for myself. And then my hand just goes in like I'm eating Doritos, just in and out and in and out. I like the sort of dance of the alternating the cutting and the hooking for myself more. And of course, it depends on what each person likes too, because there is no right way. And Leah says the challenge with this one was finding t-shirt colors similar enough to show a gradient as the cliffs fade into the background. Yeah. I mean, you have done that. But I bet that was a hell of a challenge, but you have succeeded in doing that. But I'm glad that you pointed that out, because that would be a thing. And you say, I'm 75% happy with this. It was a bit of a mindless rug to make while the creative juices were not flowing the same. Sometimes those rugs are just as necessary as the very creative projects. When I'm all finished, I'll put this rug up in on the gallery wall that my husband Matt insisted that we do on our stairwell, and I'll show you that in just a second. Merry Christmas to you too. So listen, I know where you're coming from with this is like a mindless piece, but you know what? It's not a mindless piece. And I hope that if others can identify with the sentiment that I'm about to relay, sometimes we do work on projects and it's just kind of like the ginger in between different sushi rolls. You're just kind of like working on something mechanical. You're solving some problems. Your heart isn't invested, and it's not like the piece of your lifetime or your defining piece of art, but you are doing it and it's helping with something, whether it's your mood, um, whatever, disappointment, frustration, waiting for supplies to arrive, waiting to find, it doesn't matter. I mean, it just doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I think we can all relate to the sentiment of working on something where we're like, meh. And then can you also remember times when you have done that and then you went back 6 months later, a year later, 10 years later, 20 years later, and went, oh my God, did I make that? Because I know that I have done this so many times with all different kinds of mediums, gone, yeah, whatever. And then I look at it later and I go, God, I'm good. Right? So, Leah, God, you're good. Like, this is really, really, really good. I understand what you're saying, but I think you've been working on this for a long time. I'm going to talk to you like you're my girlfriend and I'm sitting with you at a cafe table right now. I think you've been working on this long enough, and I know you come and go from it, but I think that some of the stuff that's in your head about this piece isn't real. Like I think this piece is massively successful, interesting, and it has no visible technical problems at all. The grass on the top, right? So I'll break it down this way. Like the main sort of prestige with this piece, the thing that we're looking at is the patterning, right? The subject is awesome. It's cool. It's cliffs that all your work looks like cakes or layers. It's geology. It's bakery. It's so much fun stuff in one piece. It's color. It's patterning, right? Patterning is the main thing that we're looking at, and um, you know, you have got patterning starting with the stripy gray at the top. Stripy gray, and then it moves to the yellow, and then it moves to the seafoam, and then it moves to the polka dots, and then it moves to like the slices of brown. You have got 5 layers of patterning. Outside, that it's perfect, right? That should not be touched. It's there. It's perfect. Outside of that, you have got water that changes color and tells a different story, right? There's moving water, like so. There's something more realistic than flat patterning happening in the water. Also, the sky, right? You do have one sort of rickrack going across the sky, which I am so in love with, and the sun is there in a really odd place, and I love it. Like anybody else, Leah, would have put the sun not touching, right? Or half touching. You put it right on the corner. And that could have been an uncomfortable place, but it's not for some reason. It has the cherry on the cake feel to it. I don't know why it works because honestly, it shouldn't, but it does. And I love it. So you have got a background with blues that are not flat patterning. So when we get to the green on the top, it's doing the same thing that the water does, right? You've got striations of different colors in it. It's doing what the water does. And so if you were to change it to a solid color, you would be introducing a third motif, right? Because you have got sort of realist movement in the water. You have got flat patterning on the cliff sides. If you were to suddenly go solid with something, I don't know. I feel like it would be jarring because that doesn't exist so far. I feel like it would draw a lot of attention to the green, and right now the green is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, which is making the love sandwich between the water and the green, right? Like all of these like layers of colorful goodness. The water and the green are holding them in place like bookends, and I feel like you've done the green in a similar way that you've done the water. If you were going to strike out and do something different with the green, it might be great, but I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure because I see consistency in what you've done so far, and um, yeah, it would be really striking out. I don't mean striking out like failing. I mean like striking out on your own with like, let's go for door number 3. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. But I feel the piece is very cohesive right now. I feel like the prestige is in the patterning. Everything else makes literal sense. I do like the placement of the sun. I do like that bar of rickrack cloud at the top. Um, and I personally don't think that you should make changes. I feel you've looked at it too long. You've fallen maybe in and out of love with it too many times. You're maybe a bit too close to it right now because from an outsider's point of view, it's a really fantastic piece. And I don't feel it could be better. I feel it's striking and it's perfect. And I feel that you've succeeded in doing what you meant to do. Um, and I wouldn't touch it. But I mean, you have to do what feels right for you. Kanga says exactly. Changing the grass would upset the composition. It would really upset the composition because that's a big piece of real estate, that grass. Um, right now, it doesn't come off. If I see it as a flat shape, it could look like a witch's hand or something. Like it could look like something else. Right now, it reads as grass, and it reads as interesting grass that's modeled and textured and has the same degree of realism that the water has. It's you've matched those two things, and the sky as well, right? We see some realism in the sky. You're welcome. I'm just catching up on the comments too. The love sandwich. It is. It's a love sandwich. No, don't change a thing. I think it looks really perfect. And yeah, I know how you feel because I do this all the time. I hate my work. And then I step back and I go, yeah, no, it was actually okay. I was winding myself up, right? And we are all the best at winding ourselves up. So just try to not do it. Um, because yeah, you've got perfection. And obviously we see where it's going on the wall right here. I think it deserves to go there. These are all amazing pieces. And again, Leah, you are another of the great artists. We've looked at so many great artists tonight, and we always do. You are one of the great artists. You're a new artist. You're doing something completely different. Your work has a really distinctive look and feel. Even if you do start doing different subjects, I know you're going to carry with you some of the tricks that you do because they are original. These are original tricks and they're yours. You own them. Intellectual property. You're going to take them with you everywhere you go because you can't do otherwise. This is what comes out when you sit down and work. So you're always going to be consistent because you are very true to your style and to the vision. And as we know from looking at these pieces, people love your work. It's appealing on so many levels, and we see distinctly different things in it. Me, particularly now that I'm on that weight loss shot, right? Constantly thinking of food, I'm always seeing pastry in your pieces. But I know it's geology, but I'm still seeing pastry a little bit. It doesn't matter. It makes me happy. I love the patterning and I love the variety. These are great pieces. Yep. We love your style. These are great pieces. Danny, you did it. You did it. Now, come on, right? So Danny was working on this piece around Halloween, and you remember the struggle with the door, with the punch needle, struggling with the punch needle, and there were gaps, there were holidays, remember? And it was super frustrating and a bit worrying. And we were able to tell, looking on one of these coffee times, it was a cocktail time. Must have been a gallery night. We were able to look and we all agreed. We said, Danny, just more loops. That's all. And look it. Isn't it great when things come out great? It was there were so many vulnerabilities on the first version that we saw because the loops were not packed enough. You hardly ever hear that on this show, but they weren't packed enough. And punching is tricky because either I am punching is not my favorite. I might have another sort of affair with punching at some point in the future, but I feel like when I feel like I'm either punching so close that I'm punching out other loops, right? And then I got a problem on the front, or I'm scared I'm going to punch out other loops and I'm not coming close enough. I know it's just a finesse thing, right? It's just a practice thing, but I do frustrate myself while I'm punching, and that made it easy to look at it and say, I know we don't want to pack, but you can pack a bit more with this, and you did, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a very rigid shape. This is the punch needle that you're using as well. So this is one of those. These are great punch needles, right? We don't all have to have the same punch needle. This one you screw the top, and so it's a hollow like tube, goes right through. You unscrew the thing, and you can adjust the height of the punch. So how do you know how high your loop will be? You don't know until you punch it, right? You make a couple punches, and you go, okay, that's how high your loop will be. So that's how you do it. And if you go, nah, a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper, right? You adjust it until you get it to the height that you want it, and then you just go for it. So this is as good of a tool as any, and it's a beautiful wooden tool as well. Obviously, the Oxford punches are the ones we always talk about. I love Amy personally. Those are great punches. These are also great punches. When you're looking around, the plastic one's not so great. They do less and they're less reliable. But this is one that I have seen recently in stores and online. I have this one too. It works fine. If you are the kind of person who's crazy about pile and you really need to know how high your pile is, this isn't the needle for you. But if you're someone who's like, oh, that looks pretty good to me, then you're going to love this needle because you can adjust it to any height, right? Not just a set number, but anything in between, which is a lot of fun. Very versatile. Danny, great job. You really killed it. I mean, it's perfect. You solved all of the problems and you fixed it. That's the most that we hope for, is to be able to diagnose stuff while we're sitting looking at slides together, right? And you know what? You often can. So, beautiful, Danny. Super, super beautiful. Jessica, you're working on this now after you finish the 4 kids pieces. Um, this is a pattern I put out. Oh, God, it must have been in, I think it was 2020, based on the a line from the song "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," right, from Meet Me in St. Louis. What does the text say? Faithful friends. This is called "Faithful Friends who are dear to us will be near to us once more." So pretty. I'm all stuffed up now because I was crying earlier. Boo, that was so sad, though, right, Jessica? That was so sad. Um, Love it. I love it, love it. I never finished this piece of mine. This was a really busy time. This was the year that I started ribbon candy hooking. It was also the year of COVID. Love the piece. You are doing a sensational job. I just shipped another one of these yesterday. I'll be so anxious to see how they come out. I love this design. I was trying to do a bunch of mittens and gloves, like all the hands that go in them, all the faithful friends' hands, and I was connecting them, kind of like, you know how mittens are sometimes connected by strings, so they go through your sleeves. But I was also thinking of them kind of as telephone wires, connecting people, because it was the year of COVID, and I remember we weren't seeing anybody, and we saw family, but man, not enough people out in the wild, and yeah, this pattern came to be, and I think it's a very sort of lasting design, because I know that they're phone cords. I hope that didn't spoil it for you, by the way. But they could also just be the curly cues on the mittens and stuff. Just the point is connection, right? Connection to other people. Um, I'm so glad you're doing this. It looks super beautiful. This is a design that revolves around multiples, and you can, just like June's trees, right? You decorate them however you want, and you have fun doing it. Now, remember I said Lorna sent me an email today. Remember her wait until spring, or it's almost spring. Remember the grayish potted flowers? Well, this is another one of Lorna's, and I think it is, oh my God, it's incredible. Hold on, let me find. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. No, no, no. I'm so sorry, Danny. I didn't read your email. I'm so sorry. The Halloween house. You wrote, I made some good progress on my Halloween house pillow cover. I found this yarn that had these. Oh, wait a minute. I got to go back. Danny, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I didn't read that. Hold on one second. We will come back over here. And no, let's get all of the information and the news that we can get. I found this yarn, ooh, that has these soft little pom-poms on it. I hooked that into the background. Oh, snappy snaps. I'm going to have to make that big. Into the background, and started adding a darker orange. I ran out of white for the moon because it's the moon in the background. So I have to come back to that. Okay. Well, you'll get there in the end. Before I finish the email, I just want to make this bigger. You know, Danny, I wonder if you're still on. Were you able to put that little pom-pom thing through the punch, or did you say, oh, you hooked? You did some hooking with it. I was going to say pom-poms, sometimes it depends on the fiber, always. But sometimes, oh, I see. It's bumpy, like kind of a boucle bumpy. Very good. Yeah, sometimes textured stuff, or chenilles or velvet yarns and stuff like that don't go great through the punch needle. But yeah, so you hooked part of it, which makes sense. When you're struggling with your punch needle, you can always flip to the other side and fill in stuff with hooking. That is the best and I think easiest way to actually see what you're doing, right? When particularly when it's a bit of a struggle. And Danny says, the biggest thing I learned is that since my new punch needle is adjustable, I have to make sure it's on really tight. Otherwise, it gets pushed shorter and shorter. That's a great point. That's a great point. I'm also having a hard time with using an embroidery hoop and keeping the piece in it. Okay, let's talk about these two things. These are both really important things. Okay, yeah, you tried to punch it, Danny, the pom-poms, but it didn't fit the needle, sadly. No, so that's a hooking job, but you did get a great effect. So in the end, you won, but I know what you mean. It's nice when you can do it all through the punch because it is really quick. I forgot that about these punches, right? All of the punches that have a screw top potentially do shorten themselves as they go along. So you want to think about that. Just wear and tear, like punch, punch, punch. If it's so, it's like the cap on the super glue, right? Like the eternal enigma of the cap on the super glue. Hey, if it's good super glue and you use it and you put the cap on, you will never be able to get the cap off again and use more super glue, right? It's kind of the same thing with this style punch needle, the adjustable. It's like if you adjust it and you love your height, you basically need like the might of like Thor to tighten it enough that it will not slip while you're punching, because you can be punching with it and not notice that it slipped and that it's getting shorter and shorter and shorter, right? And all of a sudden it's like the incredible shrinking loop, and you're like, oh man, how long has this been going on? And then it's usually like a really long time, sadly. So that can happen. But then if you do manage to muster the might of Thor, that was some alliteration. Um, you are not going to be able to unscrew it, right? To change the height. So with these needles, if you're happy with the height the way that they are, I would say get a pair of pliers, do the Thor, and leave it. And get another needle if you want it a little bit lower, because if you do plan on adjusting it, it is likely to slip, and you have to be consciously aware of that. We are not, as rug hookers, we are not used to being consciously aware of anything, right? We are not cross stitchers. We are not counting squares. We are not knitters. We are not counting. We are just, right? And you're not used to saying to yourself, oh God, I wonder if it's slipping. Guess what? It's probably slipping. Probably has been slipping through the whole Hallmark movie. So be thinking about that, because you can overcome by making it really, really tight, but you will not be able to loosen it up again. So, and these are like a little less expensive than other ones that you would find. So maybe get a couple, keep one low for like lower stuff and one higher for higher stuff. Might be the answer, because you still make out like a bit. Oh, hey, Teddy.
Hi.
You still make out like, you want to come say hi?
Oh yeah.
You getting yourself your shirt buttoned up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just about to ask for the cookie toy. I'm not really prepared for the camera.
Oh,
That's okay. No.
yeah. No, come on over.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, he could come over.
Yeah, definitely.
Cookies are on the counter where they always are, unless you've eaten them all.
I didn't see him yet.
There, my man. There, my man. He's got his Pitter Pat shirt on.
Oh,
See?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's got a little breakout here. We got to put some little medicines there.
Oh yeah.
Little breakout. Here, let me show Pitty.
Aww.
Pitter Pat the cat, right?
Yeah, she's in
Pitty
my
the
room.
cat. Did you just take a shower, sweet stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, honey.
Thank you.
Honey, say.
Thank you.
Give one more high. Give one more high with that handsome face. Look
Hi.
at that hair.
Thank you.
You little puff. He is now 14.
Oh yeah.
That puff is 4. Look at you, got some happy birthday greetings there.
Thank you. It was on the 17th.
It was on the 17th. Where did we go?
Oh yeah, New York City.
New York City! Concrete jungle, that's where dreams are made of.
Yeah.
We loved it. It was like stop.
No.
We had a lot of fun.
I love you.
Great. Yeah, that is the thing, Danny. That is the thing. So you have to make a tough choice there, right? It works great when it is on there permanently, like with a tool on there. Otherwise, your brain has to constantly be thinking, uh-oh, is it slipping? And we're just not used to doing that. So you probably won't think about it often enough to prevent yourself doing huge areas that like are sinking, like quicksand. Oh, Kanga, you're the 18th. You were one day after him. Oh, happy belated birthday to you too. I hope that that didn't mess with you too much through the years. That's why we go to New York, is because I never want his birthday and Christmas to like turn into one event. We decided long ago going somewhere super fun for the birthday was the best gift, because then we know that we made a distinct we celebrated two things like distinctly, and that he wasn't given a twofer, little old Ted. All right, let's come back over here. So Lorna, remember Lorna sent some stuff today too. And yeah, I fell off my chair because I knew about the gray bouquet, which I was already in love with. And then I saw this piece and I was like, okay, what's going on here? Lorna, what's going on? I am just so loving these pieces. Let me find my text. Here we go. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Jessica, I did it again. let's go back one more to Faithful Friends because I missed the text. Again, that was me. I'm sorry. Jessica said, in between, so you're working on this in between your Christmas craziness. You've been working on Faithful Friends for the border. I'm using, this has got group participation. For the border, I'm using a mix of navy blue and red green plaid. I know just what you mean because I recognize that material. That is one of the classic plaids, right? Noodles that I've had on hand forever. I like it, but I'm not sure about the color for the words yet. White and red both don't look quite right to me. Maybe a light blue? I'm open to suggestions. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you all have a fun filled, peaceful holiday with your families. Oh, you too. Huh. Okay, so I'm going to say for myself, I want to hear all your suggestions. I agree with you on the white and I agree with you on the red. I would say, because it's a festive, I would say I have three suggestions. Um, Kanka says yellow. Yellow would definitely work, the yellow mittens. I would say, how about like some kind of truly metallic, like a silver or gold? There's so many yarns that are like truly silver or gold, like quite luminescent. That could be a thing, kind of a ropey, thick yarn might be a thing, a true metallic. Um, I would also think about the possibility of a Christmas green, which is like a light green. Not a mint green, but not an evergreen. Like a true greeny green, like the top of a. I'm looking. Oh, you know what color I'm thinking of? I mean, it's really dull, like you're not seeing it well, but that bright, bright, bright green screen green, because it still has that Christmas feel. And my other thought would be, oh, thank you. I will pass on the greetings. He's so happy to be part of our community here. Jossie, too. I was also thinking about a lighter pink, only because you know how lately, like the vintage kind of 1950s pink has really become one of the staple Christmas colors. Um, I thought about that because there's some pink in the mittens too, but you're getting some other great ideas, yellow or the gray. Yeah, a light gray would be great. It would keep the neutral border. I guess it depends on how much you would want the border, the text to stand out. Um, because if you really wanted to stand out, I think I would stay away from neutrals and colors that are already in the piece. Just because the piece is busy, right? That is the design. I would be tempted to stay away from colors that are already there, because there's a lot of text, and I think that the text is going to function as a frame, right? Like as like part from a distance, just like you're going to be like, oh, that's the inner part of the frame. It'll do that, I think, more successfully with a strong color that's very different than anything else that is catching our eye at the moment. Yeah, orange would match as well. All of these colors would work, I have to say. I'm just afraid that I think the white is too stark and too sort of unfriendly, not cozy enough. I see why you tried it because it's like the perfect contrast. But for me, the red is falling back, and it's giving it more of a patriotic looking border just because it already is patriotic colors. I think making a departure from that, even something like um, I'm trying to think of the color of blue that I'm thinking of. Um, Something like, let me see if I can reach this without falling off my chair. Maybe something like, happen to have my camera's not so good right now because it's dark, it's night and it's dark. But I have like these two blues. One is, they're kind of like a light turquoise blue kind of thing. It's very bad with the green screen behind me. If it was nice and bright behind me, you'd maybe something bright like that. But for me, I'm still a bit of a Christmas purist, so I still think of Christmas as like red, green, metallic, and maybe pink. But I think these are all really good suggestions. So yeah, I don't think you can make a bad decision because it's already a beautiful piece. So and I do like the red plaid border. And I'm just thinking, I love the red plaid border. Would the red work if there's more red? Would I then fall in love with the red? Maybe. I don't know. Now I'm second guessing that. I definitely am not a huge fan of the white, but maybe with the red all the way around, teal, darker, maybe not light for the words. True. That's true. That's true. Orange on black. Yeah, might be a little Halloweeny. You're looking at that. Yeah. Yep. This is a great piece for leftovers, right? I'm looking at the colors now and going, oh, this is a great piece for scraps, tiny amounts of scraps. Yeah, Diane, I'm starting to like the red too, I have to say. Um, I was feeling like it looked a bit dark, but I bet it's not as dark as it looks. And I bet the red is really gonna marry well with the red, blue, green plaid. Mm. Oh, Merry Christmas, Ryan. The mittens are all leftovers and plaids. Awesome. I love the swirling ribbon. Maybe something to offset the ribbon. Yeah. It's a tough one. I love it when we do these shy blue. Oh, that's really so cute, Ruth. Shy blue. Yeah. Gosh, I'm not going to say anything else because my mouth is the only one that's running and you all have good suggestions. But Jessica, I know you're going to ruminate on all those good suggestions and you're going to come up with something perfect. Just make sure that you let us know. Looks, yeah, I bet the red lettering looks better when you cover the white because then it's like the red, white, and blue, I think was catching me. Red on dark buzzes for me. Yeah, I'm starting to feel that too. I have to admit, the more we talk about the red, it really matches that plaid. And that is so super Christmassy, pulling the red out of that plaid. That's the poison color in that plaid because it is like navy, dark green, right? And then you've got that poison bright red. Mm, maybe the red. And it is like it's really in keeping with the Christmas color palette too. Sky blue. Oh, I thought you made up shy blue. See how I'm tired. I did like shy blue though. You know, like I liked it. Okay, so Lorna. So this is the second one that Lorna sent, and oh my God, yes, these houses. Okay, so Lorna wrote, "You can show my three rugs if you want, and I may be a little late sending them in." Oh no, we got there in the end, and they are all her own designs, and they are all hooked with thrifted yarn. So those are important things to know, aren't they? Because we always want to know like where'd you get your supplies, right? That's one of the big things in the Facebook groups. Where'd you get your supplies for that? It's I think often amazing to learn that on specific rugs, this one included, that it's all thrifted stuff, right? It can be done, man. It can be done. I also love this one. I love this one. Guess what's going on here in terms of compositions? Multiples. Multiples of snowflakes in the middle. Now, have we seen, just look at the middle, pretend that was the whole rug, just a mat, right? Not just a mat, but with like snowflakes in the middle, right? That in itself would be like, oh, that's really sweet and festive. But hey, look what's going around the border. Oh God, I'm frothing at the mouth. This is like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I love it. I love these little houses. They are whimsical. They have that little bit of a fantasy flavor, right? They are sweet and charming. That the house and trees are different positions. Some have bushes. The little paths leading up to them done in different color. This is unbelievable. I love it. I love everything about it. I absolutely love it. And I'm wondering if the snowflakes in the middle were done with cut paper, like making your own snowflakes, because they could be, right? All these little touches. I mean, Lorna is just so good. All of these touches. So we've got blue on blue in the center with the snowflakes, but then look at the little tiny gray border around it. And then that tiny gray border appears again around the whole periphery, and a lot of gray in the roofs and stuff. Like, these are a lot of houses, but we're not seeing, for example, a ton of brown. We're seeing a lot of gray, red, blue, sort of rusty orange tones, yellow. Very unexpected. But the houses come off as like normal houses, right? It doesn't look like it's not bending over backwards, this piece, to do crazy colors. It's just not completely conventional colors, create a lot of interest. The volume of snow that's falling is very exciting. It's like it's not just like one flake here, one flake there. Like it's accumulating. It's a super wintry rug. It's so much fun looking at all these little pictures and the snowflakes in the middle. And I love that like blue kind of flame, sort of flame fingery border. You know what I mean, on the inside of the blue, and on the snowflake part done in the navy blue. It's real. Oh, Veronica, hey. Oh, it's so cool. It's just it looks like little icicles kind of dripping. It's so cool. The colors are fantastic. It's a lot of primary colors, but they are so exciting. How can they be so exciting? There's a lot of neutral color in this too. How is it possible that it's so colorful and cheerful and such a fun rug to look at? It's magic, right? It's just magic. As you go along, you're doing something like this and you're thinking, I better start kissing my biceps now because obviously I'm killing it, right? Mwah, mwah, I'm killing it. That's what I would be doing anyway if I was making this. This is so, so good. Where's Waldo? Quality to it. It does. There's a busyness to it, but it's not a chaotic busyness because we know we're looking at houses and snowflakes. That's it. Houses and snow. And then your eye does start to, where's Waldo? Oh, look at the roof on that one. Oh, look at the chimney on that. Oh, look where the chimney's at on that one. Oh, that one doesn't have a chimney. Oh, look at that house. It's set off sideways, right? Instead of just head on. How cute is that roof line, right? Look at the way that this tree sits next to the house or sits behind the house, or this has like a sort of box hedge or something behind it going right across. So cool. So different and so cool. And another beauty. I wish I would have lightened the photo up a little bit because it's a little bit dark, but you can see what's going on here. Another episode of insanity with crazy times, like best ever ideas, Waldoboro height. There's some fur in here. This is a wild Christmas wonderland, slightly psychedelic, so cool, right? Like winter gone wild, so cool. Simple idea for a composition with a house and these evergreen trees, and they have strings of lights on them, so beautiful. Then what can you do, right? Picture all of the old time rugs we've seen that are a little log cabin in the distance with trees, right? Picture that, and then look at this. Like it's so 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 clever, so smart. It's it's like putting the idea for this classic sort of postcard Christmas subject into a crucible, burning it down, and saying, what I really need is the house, the trees, right? They're going to cut the composition in half. Now then I can go bonkers. I can go bonkers. And there can be snow, like I'll do whites and neutrals in the ground, and then I'll go crazy New York City neon colors in the sky, right? Bonkers. So smart. Wow, adore it. Woodstock Music Festival gone west. Absolutely. That's so perfect. Yeah. Like Summer of Love, Crazy Time, stretched paisleys and teardrops and all of these great elongated, soft, sort of sensual shapes, furry snow, right? There is so much storytelling in this piece. And the fact of it being so wild and the house being a little bit in the dark in the trees is so magical to me. So magical. It kind of reminds me. Yes, Ruth, I was just going to say the aurora borealis. I was just going to say that. Rita, same thing. Because it's like such a simple composition and then all of this other stuff. I mean, isn't that something? It just reminds me that when you're sitting there and you're working on a design and you think, yeah, this is not, I don't know, this isn't working. I don't know what else to put in it. Maybe you just need to start patterning, right? Think about Leah's work as well. Maybe you just want to think about introducing patterns. Maybe you don't need more stuff. Maybe you just need patterns, right? Something to think about. And in Leah's case, her patterns are very structured, right? Very repeat patterns. And in this case, Lorna's piece is like two wild and crazy guys, right? Like the sky and the ground, right? Working together in tandem to make this piece wild. But wild and not like unhinged, right? Like not off the rails wild. Just like super artistic, Like you put your foot down on the artistic pedal and you floored it. Really is an extraordinary piece. Very exciting. All three pieces, Lorna, are super exciting. I really want to talk about your pieces and all the stuff that you're working on because I'm just so super in love. Ruth, you sent some beautiful projects as well. I love and talk about like, I love it on these shows when we represent different things. You turned some of these beautiful rugs that I love into bags. Like we need to be talking more about stuff like this because we all have a lot of rugs, but the idea of turning stuff into bags and things that we can use is very exciting. So you said, wait a minute, let me get my piece of paper, page number 5. Where'd you go? Here you are. You said, I made these punch needle bags a while back, but just recently sewed the backs and fronts together. Oh, it went really well, didn't it? I added a leather binding, a button tab, leather tabs to hold, and leather tabs to hold the straps. The Fortnite bag was just quilted and embroidered. That's the one over on the right is the Fortnite one and that's the Fortnite colors for kids who play that video game. My kids love that game too. I love this. I love this project. So quilted and embroidered. So you had no time to make a punch needle for this one. So it's quilted and still super beautiful. The Fortnite one. These are all wrapped and sent to my sons in South Carolina. Perfect in perfect time, right? They are for my great grandchildren. He will have them all there for Christmas. The little girl's mom is in Korea deployed with the army. Oh, God bless her. Um, Such a happy treat, though. She's going to be so happy to know that the kids are getting these, right? And they're going to be so thrilled. I remember these pieces and I love them so much. I think I had time to put one more photo in. Oh shoot, I wanted one that was, I love this one too. I love this character too. I remember this character. I just wanted to show you the straps. Well, I guess you can sort of see them. I literally, I was late logging on because I was trying to do stuff at the last minute. Um, I love the tabs and everything, Ruth. You chose really nice sort of, it's hardware in the sense that it's what attaches the bag to the straps. It's not metal hardware, but you made really good choices about how it was being bound, the colors, and I love the tab that closes over with the button because it still has that sort of handmade feel, but it looks so professional. It looks very fancy, right? People are going to look at these and go, "Oh my God, where did you get that bag?" You did a really nice job with sewing the fixings on, right? And the tab and everything matches really well, and then it goes up to loops, and then the straps, which are matching. I mean, really, really smart, really well done. Um, yeah, just another thing to think about, right? When you've got pieces, or even if you have one side and you're going to do a one-sided piece, we've been seeing more and more bags, and we are seeing more and more backets, right? When you sew a hooked panel onto your back, it's a backet. Bags and Backets, right? That's a book. Somebody should do a book called Bags. They don't have to call it Bags and Backets, but that has like accessories for rug hookers. For people who are done with making rugs and hangings for the wall, right? It would be really cool to see just more ideas. We've seen that years ago, but we don't see that enough. And I'm seeing so many cool things like that, Ruth. The bags just look really good and really professional. So you did that on a heavy duty Singer sewing machine. That sounds smart. Um, yeah, I have a heavy duty Singer too, and I'll tell you that it would go over my hand, like it would go through the bones. It's so good and powerful, and then you don't have to worry about the needle bending or breaking or popping and flying into your eyeball or anything like that. It's good to have the right machine to do this stuff. But yeah, it's so pretty. I'm so glad that the great grandkids are going to get those in time. That is so exciting. Your son suggested it. That's smart because they can take them with them wherever they go. I remember, I know I told you the story years ago. I'll make it really short. I remember my Barry Manilow bag that my mother painted me years ago that was like um, it sort of defined my life at school in those days when I was in Catholic school, but I was in junior high at that point. And was I in junior high? No, not junior high. I was in, yeah, junior high, like 8th grade, right? It's junior high. She painted Barry Manilow on um, like not backpack, but it had like a drawstring, like kind of like an army bag. Man, it looked like Barry. It really, he had the microphone like this. It was like, it looked just like him. And I went to the bus stop and, because she gave it to me like for, it was one of my Christmas things. And kids started throwing not just snowballs, but ice balls at me and snowballs with rocks in the center. And I was like, what's going on? Like nobody's, because it wasn't kids from my school. It was kids, like other kids that we all took the same bus and I got off at the Catholic school. And I was like, why are the kids so hostile, you know? And I was thinking, what is going on? And then it happened again the next day that they were like throwing stuff at me. And I just didn't get it. And so I went home and I said to my mom, like, what do you, well, like, why do you think they're like throwing stuff at me all of a sudden? And she's like, she said, I don't know. Do you think it has anything to do with with the bag I made? And I said, I distinctly remember this conversation. I said, uh, well, no, I mean, it's like they can tell that the bag is Barry Manilow, right? Like, obviously it's Barry Manilow. So, like, obviously it's not the bag because he's like so cool. I mean, we both said that to each other. We both said, well, they can tell it's Barry Manilow, so it can't be the bag. And so we couldn't figure it out. And we just kept like, she started walking me to the bus stop in the morning and leaving for work later because she stood there with me and they didn't throw ice balls and rocks at me. So, yeah, and I kept using the bag and I didn't think anything of it. And we talked about it years later and said, oh my God, it was the bag, wasn't it? It was totally the bag. So funny. Oh man. These bags are not that, Ruth. These are beautiful bags. Beautiful bags. Nothing to mock with beautiful artsy bags like that. But Barry, even back then, I don't know how people can make fun of him. I mean, yeah, I love him too much to be able to understand that. Anyway, we stayed on very late tonight. It's almost 11 o'clock here on the East Coast, but you know what? I feel good. I was in a very bad mood when we started. You might have noticed that. I am in a very happy mood now. We got done. The interference with the echo stopped. Um, we saw some beautiful pieces tonight. I even cut a ton of stuff I had that I can use for another show. So let's see. Let's see what the next days look like. Tomorrow is all doctory stuff for me, so I will not be on tomorrow. And then the next day, the kids are, because I was thinking, can I run one more quick show before Christmas? I'd love to run something on Tuesday. I'm going to shoot for Tuesday. So Tuesday would be a half day for the kids, which means I'd have to think about what time I put the show up. I'd probably put it up at like 10 a.m. or something earlier. I'm gonna shoot to run a show on Tuesday, but we have to keep an eye on the time because we do have a forecast of snow. So if they have a half day, I can plan around there and I can put a show up and then we know it's at 10 or whatever, 10 to 11. But if it is a snow day, oh, you know what? It doesn't matter if it's a snow day, then I don't have to go pick them up. I am tired. So why don't we say, let's see, thinking about what time Teddy gets out. Teddy gets out at 12. Joss gets out at 12:20. So I'd have to leave at like quarter. So why don't we say I'll be on at 10 o'clock on Tuesday, and I will run another show of some of the stuff I cut from this, some of the rugs that I've seen in the last couple of weeks while we were traveling doing like our holiday family stuff in Concord, Massachusetts, and then again in New York City. I didn't see any hooked rugs in New York City, but I did on the way home. So we can do that on Tuesday. Let's say 10 a.m. on Tuesday, Eastern Standard Time. I'll run 10 to 11 or thereabouts, and whether the kids are needing a ride or not, that fits in with the day. Let's do it. Because I don't want to say Merry Christmas to you just yet. I feel like we might have a little bit more time. Sharon says, I just got home from the work party, missed most of the show. Well, it's there for you for later. And what's wrong with Barry Manilow? Exactly. Like, nothing is wrong with Barry Manilow. He's the best. Oh, yes, Kirsten. Yes. Yes. After, let's do that. Let's do, yes, 10 to 11. Kirsten, thank you. Kirsten, did you hear me say at the beginning? I ran out of time because I have Kitty to put in the show. We're going to look at Kitty on Tuesday. So yes, 10, Kirsten, thank you. 10 to 11 with me live on Tuesday, followed by, if you want to transition to Kirsten after she starts the Zoom at 11. So that's perfect, isn't it? We won't say Merry Christmas yet. We will say Tot Ziens, which in Dutch means see you soon. And isn't that cute? Tot Ziens. And I will see you on Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will look at some more fun stuff. And after that, I will say the big MC to you. Have a great night.